Excellency the Vice President.
Thank you. Your Excellency the Vice President, you may take the podium. Honorable members, questions for week. Due notices were given to His Excellency the Vice President by honorable members for oral reply. Question number 001 of 2023 by the honorable member for Banjul North.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could His Excellency the Vice President update this August Assembly on the number of affected families supported during the last year's flash flood, the type of relief packages given to them, and whether the government is still supporting them or not?
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Speaker, members of the National Assembly, the government of the Gambia supported 1,544 households with a total population of 12,521 inhabitants. Each household was provided with 1 bag of 50 kilogram rice, 20 liters oil, and 50 kilogram sugar. The World Food Program provided support in the form of cash transfer of $2,350 per month for 3 months, that is from September to October, to 5,341 households, which have a total population of 42,728 inhabitants. Total cash transfer amounted to $3,765,050. The Gambia Red Cross Society also provided support in the form of cash transfer amounting to $26,449,275 to 1,427 households with a total population of 11,416 inhabitants. The support was provided immediately after the occurrence of the disaster and continued for 3 months following the disaster.
Can I go ahead? Okay, thank you very much, His Excellency the Vice President. Are you aware that many affected families are still to recover in terms of their lost properties and also have access to food items? What is your office willing to do in terms of supporting those families, if you are aware of that?
Mr. Speaker, I'm not aware of that. It's not reported to me. Maybe I'll do a follow-up on that. Thank you. Any other supplementary?
No, that's okay. As far as his...
Honorable Member for 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏𝒆𝒍.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much, Honorable Vice President. I congratulate you on your appointment as the Vice President of this country. In the full disclosure of facts, he was my permanent secretary at the Ministry of Education. I congratulate you, sir. My question will be, this disaster mitigation measures, because your predecessor, when he visited my affected areas, he gave a very good speech that there will be disaster mitigation measures. Instead of supporting families here in and out, Gambia has already identified the disaster-prone areas. What mitigation measures are put in place so that next year it can be avoided?
Point of order. Who is Basse? Honorable Member for Basse?
The member is out of order because the supplementary question should not be more than 1 minute.
A timer.
Honorable Member, Honorable Vice President, you can go ahead to answer the question. To inform the honorable member that the information I have is the 𝒕𝒉𝒊𝒔 already working on a work plan to present that to my office. Because since I took over office, I'm here to meet them. But I'm informed that they are already working on it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Honorable Member for Bakau.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Vice President, when we talk of disaster victims in this form, the support that you give is in a food form. Why not in a material form?
Sorry, Honorable, I didn't get the last part clearly.
Can you repeat the question, Honorable Member?
The mic.
When we talk of disaster victims, in an instance, the support that you give, it comes in a food form, whilst the victims, most of them lost their materials. In an instance, why do you give food stuff instead material form?
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Mr. Speaker, I want to inform the Honorable Member that normally when disasters occur, there is a team which comprises the participant I mentioned earlier, led by the NDMA, and they do the assessment, and it's that team that determines what immediate relief is needed. If there is further long-term support that is needed, then they will report accordingly.
Actually, Honorable Member, for myself, I'm not informed about your question. But so far, you are satisfied with the answer. We move to the next one. Honorable Member for Lower Salu.
No, Honorable, I withdraw my answer properly.
Fonyi Bintang.
I withdraw.
Honorable Member. Question number 002. By the Honorable Member for Nyani.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I first of all congratulate His Excellency for his new appointment in office. Honorable Speaker, could His Excellency, the Vice President, inform this August Assembly how committed is the government in implementing the security sector reforms, TRRC recommendations, and promulgating a new constitution?
Honorable Speaker, I want to inform the Honorable Member that the Gambia government is committed in implementing the security sector reforms and TRRC recommendation and promulgating a new constitution. Under the security sector reform, there is establishment of the Office of National Security and appointment of National Security Advisor to coordinate the activities of all security institutions and to lead the SSR process. Also, government has developed and established a new security architecture such as national security policy, a national security strategy, a security sector reform strategy, a national defense policy, a legal coordination framework, enactment of National Security Council Bill, and the creation of legal database and website. In terms of the Constitution, the government remains committed to the process and is working towards the revision of the draft Constitution with the aim of reaching a consensus. Thereafter, government will resubmit it to the National Assembly.
Thank you. There is no further question.
Honorable Member for Fonyi Council.
All right, thank you very much, the Vice President. We salute you for your appointment, and we said welcome to the Gambia. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, in areas of SSR, I want you to help us. What are the benchmark of guide that you do in reform of security sector, of laying order officials of the Gambia Armed Forces off away from their job and reinstating others who are alleged as coupists to the army? What yardstick do you use to do those conclusions? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, I'm not sure I have the details as the Honorable Member has said, because I think there are claims which I'm yet to verify, so I will not be in a position to provide answers to that.
Okay, honorable member, I think we either get it in writing or you put a question and it will be submitted. Honorable member for Kiang West.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. I also stand on all the existing protocols to congratulate the Vice President. But how soon is the government ready to bring in the draft constitution, because the constitution we are having is very bad?
Withdraw that word.
Honorable Speaker, yes, I want the member to withdraw that word. How can he say a bad constitution? Yes. We are not guided by a bad constitution. He's alleging. Yeah, Fonyi Cancer, yes. The member of Kiang is alleging that we have a bad constitution, which he and his people are guided for years. So I want him to withdraw that, please.
That's an opinion. Yes. Yes, you want him to withdraw. Honorable member for Kiang, do you want to withdraw?
Honorable Speaker, I will not withdraw.
Can we allow the Honorable Minister to respond to the question?
Honorable Speaker, I want to inform the Honorable Member, as I said earlier on, that we have received, as you well know, we have received the draft constitution. It is being looked at, and we want a wide consultation and have consensus before it comes back to Parliament.
Member for Brikama South.
My question has been answered.
Honorable member for Lower Salu. Honorable member for Banjul.
Honorable Speaker, our questions have been answered. Thank
Banjul you. Central.
It's been answered. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the Vice President, for ably answering to questions posed by honorable members. And on behalf of all honorable members of the National Assembly, we congratulate you on your appointment and wish you every success. And we are all hopeful that you will deliver to expectations. Thank you, honorable members. Clerk, can we proceed?
Thank you. Question for oral answers by the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy.
Thank you. Can the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy take the podium? Honorable members, questions for which due notices were given to the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy by honorable members for oral answers. Question number 031 of 2023, Honorable Member for Brikama South.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Minister, Honorable Speaker, access to water is a generally recognized as fundamental human right. Is the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy actually engaging the Honorable Minister for Land for the preservation of land for future borehole drilling to supply the Gambian population with pipe-borne water? And if no, when does his ministry intend to do it?
Honorable Speaker and Honorable Member, the Ministry of Land, Regional Government and Religious Affairs recently allocated 8 sites at C4 for utilities and borehole site for the water supply and in the Greater Banjul area project called 𝒂𝒐𝒊𝒏, which is financed by the Agence Française de Développement at a total cost of 29 million euro. The additional sites required for the project, which falls within private customary lands, are ongoing through a process of land acquisition and compensation facilitated by the Department of Lands and Survey. Additional sites were identified in Kanuma, North Bank region, Soma LRR, Sankule Kunda CRR, South and Kerewan for future intervention in the provincial areas. My ministry will continue to engage my colleague Minister of Lands, Regional Government and Regional Affairs to ensure appropriate lands are available for boreholes. Thank you.
Any supplementary, Honourable Member?
Yes, thank you so much, Honourable Minister, for that information. But I still want to inquire whether the lands that are provided for future borehole, whether they are protected to avoid human encroachment,
Yes, thank you, Honourable Member. In fact, some of the lands for the JAM project, NAWEC has also secured these areas. It's a battle, but we will continue to ensure that lands that are available are properly secured for use. Thank you.
Yes, can I also inquire whether the stated land that have been identified, whether they are not under any dispute with the community and other members of the society?
I'm not aware of any specific land dispute problem.
Question number 032 of 2023, Honourable Member for Brikama South.
Honourable Speaker, is the Honourable Minister for Petroleum and Energy considering to supply water and electricity to Kombo Bajiran, one of the most isolated villages in Brikama South, that lies between Dimbaya and Jiboro around the border?
Honourable Speaker and Honourable Member, the 𝒂𝒐𝒊𝒏 project, which is the water supply project in the Greater Banjul, has a component to prepare a water and sanitation master plan with an activity to focus water demand for a period up to 2050, with the primary objective of providing water supply needs of the population. Work is in progress, and in the near future, all these communities will be provided with pipe-borne water supply.
Honourable Member, any supplementary?
Yes.
Please.
Honourable Minister, at what stage are they in terms of the implementation? Probably if we can have a specific timeline.
I can provide you with the specific details and the project implementation schedule. I'll be able to provide you with that information.
Any more?
Does this particular project specially capture Bajiran in particular?
It's a broad-based, wide master plan, which goes, within the Greater Banjul area, and Bajiran falls within the Greater Banjul area. So, naturally, it will be captured.
Question number 033 of 2023, Honourable Member for Nyani.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, what plans do the Ministry of Petroleum and Energy have with regards to reinforcing renewable energy service to curb the menace of inefficient power supply and ensuring customers' satisfaction?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker and Honourable Member. I'm pleased to inform that the Government of the Gambia, through Cabinet, approved the strategic roadmap to attain universal access by 2025. which adequately showcase renewable energy deployment across the country. This roadmap adequately provides for the diversification of our energy mix, notably solar in the Greater Banjul area and in the provinces, to reinforce the conventional mode of energy production and strengthen efficiency and reliable power supply. The projects in the GBA under implementation is the 23 megawatt solar plant, for which the foundation stone was recently laid by His Excellency the President under the JAM project. A total of 10.6 megawatts for 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒆𝒄 and 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏 is under development through the 𝒚𝒐𝒖𝒕𝒖𝒃𝒆 project. Equally, a 150 megawatts regional project is being developed by WAP to be stationed in LRR. Solar PV mini-grids under development, and household solar systems are being developed, deployed in communities that are far away from the grids.
Any supplementary?
Yes, sir.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, have a study been made for the type of solar system that we need? For example, whether it's going to be a straight grid type solar electric system, whether is it going to be a complete off system or hybrid system?
Yes, I think following my assumption of duty, I think the ministry had developed almost 10 feasibility studies for 10 mini-grids, for which Nyamanar in URR has been implemented and is functioning right now. And there is Sarah Demba Toro, which is actually right now at the state of procurement for implementation to be ongoing. All these things are ongoing. In terms of off-grid, the on-grid system is the 23 megawatts in Jambu. Also, there is a community in CRR that we deployed home solar systems, and it has been transformational. So, I mean, we're aware of what kind of systems. And also there is an assessment which is ongoing to determine those communities which are off-grid, to see how we will be able to deploy solar systems to them. Thank you.
Thank you. No further question.
Honorable Member for Kiang West.
Honorable Minister, installation of renewable energies across the country is another thing which is very important. I want to ask, which farms are responsible for this installation? Is it NAWIG or the private farms? And if it is a private farm, what is the local content of it?
Yeah, it just depends, the source of funding. Most of the projects, solar, that have been deployed with funding from the consolidated fund is done by local companies. I mean, even with UNDP, which is supporting, it's using, there are street lights that are going to be deployed in the, within the country, and they're using Bolo Association, which is an association using women to do these things. I mean, if it is an internationally funded project, then it is through international competitive bidding process where companies locally and internationally will participate. But even if it is international participation, there is always a factor which is included in the request for proposal or documentation that requests for local participation of local contractors and even consultants for request for proposals. Yeah, so it's part of it's inherent in the development of this sector.
Honorable Member for Joshua.
Honorable Speaker, just answered my question already. I'm withdrawing.
Question number 034 of 2023. Honorable Member for Brikama North.
Thank you very much.
Honorable Speaker, Ɓ Power Plant is located in Ɓ North constituency. It's part of the communities in the area, especially those close to the power plant, are without electricity, and in some instances, residents contribute to buy poles for extension. Could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy inform this August Assembly how and when will this situation be addressed?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Member and the Minority Leader. I'm pleased to inform, as I have done before, that the government is implementing the ECOWAS Regional Electricity Access Project called 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏, which aims to provide electricity to all communities within a radius of 100 kilometers from the substation in Birkama and Soma. So all these communities which are in close proximity to the substations will be provided with access to electricity up to the last mile, that is provided up to the meter in their compound. So this is all in line with government's universal access agenda for 2025. The project is already under implementation. Works on the ground is about to start because materials orders are coming, and almost all the engineering and design works have been completed, and the contractor is on the ground. The survey work has been done, and very soon you will see the poles being erected in almost all these communities. And I think in total, the access project and all the projects that we are, almost 800 communities are going to be provided with electricity up to last mile.
Any supplementary? Honorable Member for Kiang West.
Honorable Minister, part of the question has highlighted that people in those areas contribute monies to buy poles for extension. And this is not unique to that specific constituency. What is the ministry doing to remedy the situation of people demanding the poles and areas contributing money to buy poles?
Okay, I think... Honorable Minister, Honorable Member for Kiang West, I will let you off the hook this time. You have all the time to ask your substantive questions. It has no limit. If you can ask as many questions, I think it's fine. It doesn't mean a question. This subject is referring to an area in somewhere, which is to be addressed by something as different from the national one. Honorable Minister, can you respond to it?
Yeah, as I indicated, the objective of the government of the Gambia is to provide access to electricity. That's a fundamental responsibility of the government. Sometimes the resources are not available and people want the service. So the policy of NAWEC is that you pay for the extension of the electricity or water service as the case may be. But whenever there is a project and the government, NAWEC has a project of its own, they will extend the electricity to the area without the communities having to buy the poles or the cables for the extension. So our responsibility is we will work in tandem with everybody, to make sure that we develop projects to make sure that the electricity coverage is as comprehensive as possible to minimize that burden on the communities.
Question number 035 of 2023 by the Honorable Member for Talinding Kunja.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy inform this August Assembly the state of the OMVG project in respect of its implementation, successes, and challenges, both strategically and financially?
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Speaker, I would like to inform the Honorable Member that the OMVG portfolio is under the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources. And they are the competent ministry to answer your question. But however, As a beneficiary ministry, I can inform you that the 225 kV transmission line linking the Gambia and Senegal, which is a component of the entire transmission line linking the 4 member countries of OMVG, and the 225 kV substations in Soma and Birkama are completed, commissioned, and operational in the Gambia. Thank you.
Honorable Member, you can redirect your, the Honorable Minister said the question should be directed, he's not the line ministry. He just, from his, as a beneficiary, he just mentioned of what he knows. So we will direct the question to the substantive ministry. Question number 36 of 2023 by the Honorable Member for Talending Kunja.
Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister tell this August Assembly if the Gambia is outsourcing electricity supply from Senegal or any other country, and at what cost does it bear annually on the government of the Gambia?
Honorable Speaker, I think an Honorable Member, following the renewed cordial and fraternal relationship that His Excellency President Barrow established with Senegal, the government of Senegal agreed to share their power, own generated power, with the Gambia. I mean, to support our quest to meet our ever-increasing demand. The cross-border interconnection points are at Amdalai, 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏 in the North Bank region since 2017, and Ankoina in the Upper River region since 2022. We are also, through the OMVG transmission line, Senegal is sharing, we're not outsourcing, they are sharing their own power with the Gambia, up to 30 megawatts of power that we are receiving from Senegal at a cost which is even lower than what NAWEC is producing its electricity with their generators.
Supplementary question,
yes.
Honorable Member for Talending.
Could the Honorable Minister inform this Assembly what is that cost? How much is that cost?
I will gladly provide you. The 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏 in the power that we're getting through 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏 is costing now $8.75 per kilowatt hour. The ones that we're getting through Soma and Birkama is $8.37 per kilowatt hour. That's how much we're getting it from Senegal.
Supplementary? Honorable Member?
I'm fine.
Honorable Member?
No more supplementary.
No more. Honorable Member for Latrikunda Sabiji.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Minister, you mentioned that we are importing electricity from Senegal, in fact, lower or cheaper than what NAWEC is providing. So why do we have the exponential increase in the tariff of both water and cash power, please?
Those are cost relative, and it is determined independently by the regulator, which is PURA.
Honorable Member for Kiang West.
Honorable Minister, this electricity extension from Senegal is a business for Senegal, no matter the lower the price. How ready is the ministry to extend electricity in those areas so that this business stays in the country? Thank you very much.
Honorable Member, I would beg to differ with you vehemently. For the simple reason that it's not a business. They have their power. They can use it without giving us anything. It's us that need the power. Let me give you the figures. The NAWEC power that was generated last year alone was 160,347 megawatts hour, the energy. What we got from Senegal was 401,673 megawatts hour, which is 2.5% more than even what we produce. So it is not a business. Senegal is not obliged to give us their power. Just like the president, the Guinea government has decided to share some of the power that they are producing in two of their dams, which is called Kaleta Dam, which produce about 200 and something megawatts, and 𝒂𝒏 Dam, to share with the other three member countries of OMVG in solidarity. And this is in line with the ECOWAS objective of integrating the electricity network of the region, so that you can import power from as far Nigeria or Ghana into this country. There is power exchange between the countries in West Africa. It's not unique to the Gambia.
Honorable Member for Fonyi Bintang.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, what will happen to us if the relationship between the Gambia and Senegal comes to an end in terms of electric supply?
I can comfortably tell you that out of the total power that we produce, almost 50, our peak period as of yesterday was about 81 megawatts, of which the power that we got from Senegal was about less than 10 megawatts as of yesterday. 70 megawatts of that power was produced in country. We are not leaving ourselves to chances. No. Of course, we are part of a system, of an ECOWAS organization, community. Where the power is cheaper, you take, but you don't leave your house, break your house, and rely completely on somebody. No, be rest assured that we have power that would our base load demand will be met, and it's going to also transform the electricity sector through when we commission the 23 megawatts in Jambur. It will add to our production capacity and also increase our generation mix in this country. We are also in the process of getting power from Guinea as well, not only from Senegal, as far as Guinea, because the network is under construction. That is the objective of the OMVG network, which was funded by 9 financial partners to the tune of $722 million.
Honorable Member for Brikama North.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, in your response, you stated that the cost for the supply of electricity from Senegal is lower than that of NAWEC, and you went further to give us the rate for the cost of the supply from Senegal. Can you give us, in comparison, the rate for the supply of NAWEC?
Of course, the average for NAWEC generating capacity, and we have to put this thing in context, because NAWEC has, fossil fuel generators, capacities of 6 megawatts, 8, 7 megawatts, 10 megawatts. So for that generating capacity, The average was about 14 US cents per kilowatt hour. Sorry, $14 per kilowatt hour. That's the average. Because it's based on, you have to buy the fossil. And last year we saw what has happened with respect to the Ukraine-Russia war. The metric ton that they were buying was about 600 and something. During the war, it went over $1,000 per metric ton. But that was not passed on to who funded it? It's the government. The government had to subsidize these things. So these are the realities of the business. If you do not have the money to buy the fuel, you cannot produce the electricity. If you don't produce the electricity, then there is the problem. So
Honorable Member for Woodley East.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, my question would be whether the Gambia has any plans, or the Ministry has any plans on the time frame as to when the Gambia would graduate from outsourcing energy or power from the neighboring countries. Do we have a time frame, or do we want to depend on them indefinitely?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Member for Willie East. We are part of ECOWAS, and we are developing the ECOWAS electricity market. And moving forward, there will not be any graduation, and that's the hard fact. We cannot graduate from the community that you belong to. So, and we will continue to be as part and parcel of the community, and these are the ECOWAS generation and transmission master plan approved by the heads of states, I think in 2018 or 2019, is what is guiding the development of the electricity market in this region. And Gambia cannot be isolated from this region. So the exchange of power, just like in America, just like in Europe is happening, will happen in our region as well. And wherever, we have, and the infrastructure is being developed. You go to Benin today, they have an international communication center which will be monitoring independently the power exchange that is going to take place between our countries. We are not outsourcing. We are part of a market and power exchange. In fact, in 𝒘𝒄𝒄𝒏, we send power to Senegal. In 2022, we did about over 2,272,88825 through our network. It's an exchange. This is a fundamental. This is something that the heads of states of ECOWAS have energy policy that have been developed to enable us to ECOWAS of one people.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Question number 037 of 2023, Honorable Member for Central Badibu.
Which question?
Number 038 of 2023, Honorable Member for Kiang East. Question number 038 of 2023, Honorable Member for Kiang East.
Speaker, I am asked to administer the question in his behalf.
By Kiang East.
Sure. No, he said Kiang East.
Honorable Member for Kiang West, can you read his question for him?
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, the ongoing electrification project in Kiang East has passed the communities of Yorojula, Sare Musa, and Sare Babu, even though these communities are located on the highway. Could the Honorable Minister of Petroleum and Energy inform this August Assembly as to whether they have any plans to include these communities in the ongoing electrification project? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Speaker, as I indicated earlier, we're executing NAWEC is executing on behalf of the government of the Gambia the ECOWAS Regional Electricity Access Project, which covers a radius of 100 kilometers from the substation, so Birkama Soma. So these communities will be covered. As some of you may be aware, I've reached out to try to get a list of all the communities in your constituency or district so that we will be able to do a baseline check to make sure that no one community is left out. So it is in that context that we want to assure you that even if any of the projects do not cover, we will make sure that they are covered.
Any supplementary?
No, I have no further question.
No supplementary?
No.
Question number 039 of 2023 by the Honorable Member for Fonyi Bondali.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, access to electricity is increasingly becoming a right for all individuals. Could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy explain the Ministry's plan to extend electricity supply to the communities of Kawali, Brambang, and Kanjibatu, and as well as Moyok?
Thank you, Honorable Member. The ECORIC project will take care of that. Thank you.
Honorable Member, any supplementary?
Honorable Minister, how soon?
In fact, as I indicated earlier, the contractor is on the ground. Designs have been done. Engineering studies have been completed. Factory tests have been conducted in India and other places. Materials are shipped. The surveys work are completed. Then very soon, the poles will be erected.
Yes, Honorable Member for Fonyi Kansala.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. As per the look in the belt end from Mayok down to some of the inland areas, the substations in Kanfenda from Soma, cables have been passed. We want a vivid, maybe time frame in which cables or poles in terms of erection in those satellite villages. We always see cables passing, but their own material as per, poles and others that we see that progress may start soon. Thank you.
Okay, we will more than happy to provide you with the work construction schedule for those areas. I'll share it with you.
No more. supplementary. All right? Yes, Honorable Member for Woodley East.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, since it is a policy that is established between the ECOWAS countries to generate electricity from each other's territory, is there a limit beyond which we can generate from Senegal? And if there is no limit, what stops from seeking for more energy to be able to supply to all these communities that are without electricity?
I do know that the President agreement with President Barrow's agreement with the President of Senegal was to give maximum of 50 megawatts currently, in addition to the cross-border. But, you know, the mode of production of generation of electricity determines the resultant price. I mean, in Senegal, they have recently discovered gas, and production will start this year, and they are transforming that gas to power. So we're in the process of engaging so that we can also be able to source some of the power, you know, at a cheaper cost, so that we will be able to reduce the cost of power here, just like Ghana has done. Ghana had fossil fuel generators. When they got gas, now you have the West African gas pipeline connecting Ghana, Nigeria, Côte d'Ivoire, Togo, Benin. They are able to pump gas, and that gas they use to produce electricity, and that's why there the cost of electricity maybe is about 7 cents. Because, you know, but if you depend on the international market for heavy fuel, and the plant prices go up, you know, it affects your. And these generators, you know, some of the generators have been in Kotu, they are not efficient. These are old generators, Deutsche generators and all. But, you know, they've been properly maintained, because the MD is here, I follow him every footstep to make sure that we have our backup in the event there is a problem.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister.
Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I went out, so my question came and passed. Can you permit me to ask it?
We went out.
No, I said the time of my question.
I heard you. I am making a statement. I heard what you said. You said you went out, and your questions were you were called when you went out to ask. And I said you waited until you were coming because you have the agenda, and then you went out. All right. You are very honest. We will allow you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Oh, who is saying you are creating precedents?
Forget about him.
Hey, because no. Question you want. It's not for the vice.
He's honest today. He's not setting a precedent.
We come us out. Well, you know, you said how many presidents have I created? How many times have I given somebody something that he was not doing? That is the discretion of the Speaker. Honorable question number 037 of 2023. Honorable Member for Central Badibu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for your generosity.
Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy inform this August Assembly whether the sand mining at Denti Bridge is environmentally friendly as global warming is real?
Thank you very much, Honorable Member and Honorable Speaker. What I do know is that the current site where the sand mining is taking place is based on the Royal Haskoning study, which stated that there are sand banks is what is causing the erosion around Banjul. That's what the study said. And there is evidence. The study is the Royal Haskoning report, which is available. And it is on the basis of that, you note that the ministry, the NEA, any mining activity that is taking place in this country, you apply at geology, they do a preliminary check, and then the document is presented to the National Environment Agency, which then have their EIA. And they have an EIA committee which comprises of various stakeholders. And they do the review and assessment and provide what is called the provisional environmental approval. It is on the basis of that environmental approval that geology gives you a permit. In the absence of that, you don't have a permit. So therefore, when the competent authority gives an approval that it is environmentally suitable and complies with the environmental laws of the country, then I believe that the sand dredging is not at the Denton Bridge, is off Denton Bridge, is environmentally friendly as determined by the competent authority. Thank you.
Any second? Yes, thank you, Honorable Minister, for that befitting response. Honorable Speaker, can the Honorable Minister embark on further research or to engage the relevant authorities to embark on further research about this particular place, because it's very close to the highway, and we all know that erosion is high. Coastal erosion is a threat to our land usage. So, can you please engage the relevant authority to do further research into it?
Honorable Member, I think that I've already clearly explained that the basis for the sand dredging at that location, it's not now where they were dredging close to the bridge. That's not where they're dredging now. They have moved behind the former president's enclosed property. That's where they're dredging. And that's where the sand banks are in accordance with the Haskoning report, and also based on the approval of the competent authority, which is the National Environment Agency. They're the ones that cleared these dredging operations to take place.
Honorable Member for Opanyomi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Honorable Minister, like for instance, if at all this company did not come to this place to take, so I mean, it does of course Gambia government a lot of money to take this sand from the sea. Yes, you said, according to the report, that the sand deposit inside the sea is causing erosion in Banjul.
That's what the report said.
That's what the report said. So I'm asking you, in order to avoid that erosion, is it that, had it been that the company did not come to do the trekking, is it going to cost the government a lot of money to do the trekking?
No, we are all we have all seen the negative impact that the coastal coastal sand mining, and even the inland sand quarrying or mining that is taking place, and the damage that it has caused the environment. So, and for the cabinet has discussed this issue, and the option and the most sustainable is to do offshore dredging, just like other countries have done. And I think that it is also based, the company that is doing this dredging also did their own independent study, Mr. Samate and Mr. Jan, who are the proprietors, and they are Gambians. And they have been making sure that there is availability of sand for construction. And recently we saw the impact that when they were temporarily stopped, the impact that it had, because the cost of sand went up to 15,000, 18,000, 20,000 per trip. So the government has a responsibility, and we are trying to encourage more companies to engage in, deep sea dredging, but based on environmental impact assessment.
Honorable Minister, remember 2 minutes response. Honorable Member for Banjul Central.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you made mention that according to the Haskoning assessment, that the current site that they're using was based on the assessment itself. Is it fair to say that the usage of the site at Denton Bridge wasn't the ideal place for the mining to be, actually?
Yeah, but that's why they were stopped there.
Honorable Member for Kiang West.
Honorable Minister, is it a private company that is mining at the Denton Bridge? If it is a private company, does government has any say? If we do, how much?
Yeah, it's a private company. It's a government issues permits and license in accordance with the Mines and Quarries Act of 2005, and government has $75 per cubic meter as royalty, which is paid to the consolidated fund at the central bank.
Honorable Member for Banjul North.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, sometime last year we realized that there was stoppage when it comes to operation. That is the first site that we are doing the dredging. So I want to know why they stopped, and when they resumed, they went to the other side of the river. Why are they now doing their operation there?
Honorable Speaker, that's a substantial question. I think that question cannot be allowed.
In fact, Honorable Member, I think my belief is that question has just been answered. Just been answered. Honorable Member for Joshua.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, with regards to the studies, was it jointly done by both the company and geology, or was it only the company alone?
Can you repeat your question?
With regards to the studies before the usage of the site, was it jointly done by both the company and geology, or was it only done by the private company?
No, I mean, the company did a study, and it was then handed over to the results of the study, or the report is handed over to geology, and also to NEA to do their assessment.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for ably responding to questions from honorable members. And honorable members, I thank you all. Honorable Minister, you are released. Honorable members, I thank you also for your questions and further explained by your supplementary questions. I now call on the clerk to proceed.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Question for oral answers by the Honourable Minister for Fisheries and Water Resources.
Thank you very much. Honourable Minister for Fisheries and Water Resources, you may take the podium. Honourable members, questions for which due notices were given to the Honourable Minister for Fisheries and Water Resources by honourable members for oral reply. Question number 040 of 2023 by the honourable member for Brikama South.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, when exactly would the Honourable Minister for Fisheries and Water Resources supply the ADB water project for Kiti and Brikama Madina, and to what extent would the coverage be for both communities?
Honourable Speaker, I would like to inform the Honourable Member for Brikama South constituency that through the support of African Development Bank, AFDB, the communities of Kiti and Brikama, Madina and all of Brikama South will benefit from the provision of water supply system. The two sites are part of the peri-urban component with NAWEC to be funded by the Adaptation Fund, and the fund is yet to be disbursed to NAWEC from AFDB. As such, the additional $9 million provided by GEF, that's Global Environment Facility, are being used to provide for 55 large rural settlements that lack access to potable water.
Any supplementary?
Yes, Honourable Speaker.
Please go ahead.
Honourable Minister, I vividly remember this project was initiated in 2019 and it has a lifespan of 5 years, which is almost elapsing. Can you explain why it is not implemented up to this level?
It was not implemented because as a result of the COVID, the funding agencies were not in position to release the funds to the African Development Bank. It is just recently that they have released $9 million to the bank.
Any further supplementary, honourable members?
Yes. Can the minister explain, give us exact date when are they going to start, since the money is already disbursed?
Does not cover those two communities as you requested, but other areas. As at now, I'm speaking to you, the contract to be signed between the ministry and the executive contractors are the Ministry of Justice for legal opinion. And as soon as that is done, we're hoping to get the response from them by Friday. Next week we'll sign the contract and they'll be ready for execution.
Honourable Member for Kiang West.
Honourable Minister, has this project duration been extended since it is 5 years and started from 2019, and yet the implementation is not started? Has the project duration been extended?
It has been extended.
Woodley East. Honourable Member for Woodley East.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, we are all concerned about this ADB project, which has been going on for a long time. So my question is did you say 9 million? The 9 million that is disbursed. $9 million. But we are talking about a lot of wells. So how quickly would the ADB disburse this, so that we don't have any obstacle again once the contracts have started?
depends on the signing of the contract and commencement of the execution of the project. As certificates are sent to the bank, the amounts are disbursed to the contractors.
Question number 041 of 2023, Honorable Member for Brikama North.
Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, the sewage and drainage condition of Brikama Fish Market remain unresolved. Could the Honorable Minister for Fisheries and Water Resources tell this August Assembly why has the work not still commenced at the market, and when will it start?
Mr. Speaker, Honorable Speaker, I would like to inform the Honorable Member for Brikama North constituency that the drainage and wastewater problems at the Brikama Fish Market were jointly assessed by the Ministry of Fisheries and Groundworks. Based on the assessment report, the Ministry engaged our Japanese partners through JICA project for their intervention. The Japanese sent a team of experts to further assess the situation. While awaiting their response, we continue to engage all relevant stakeholders, including Brikama Area Council, National Environment Agency, and the community. We also instructed our management team at the market to assist remove the blockade periodically. Efforts are ongoing to provide Brikama and Bakote fish markets with a specific tank for water collection as an immediate measure.
Honorable Member, any supplementary?
Honorable Speaker, yes. I could recall that the related question pertaining to this issue, the response given by the Minister is almost still the same. I was anticipating at that time, the answer was anticipating up to January for the response from Japan. And I would like the Honorable Minister to inform what caused the delay of the response of the Japanese team.
I think that's beyond the Ministry to be able to tell you. It's a grant. We have requested them to come and look at it. They have assessed it, and we are only waiting for their response.
Any more?
Yeah, furthermore, in anticipating for the response from the Japanese team, the Minister at that time also went further to put alternative measures to address the situation. Now, what do you have in plan as an alternative measure in order to remedy the situation at the market?
As of now, we don't have an alternative remedy measures. Like I said here before, that it was anticipated that Brikama would get a sewage system which will get connected to the drainage system of the market. And in the failure of the implementation of that sewage project there, so it is really impossible. That is, unfortunately, that is the situation as of now, until we get something from the Japanese.
Honorable Member from Brikama South.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, since already studies has been done, a design is out, and I believe it's already costed. In the absence of Japanese intervention, don't you think it would have been ideal if the two ministries, both your ministry and the Ministry of Land, can come out with a proposal for a budgetary allocation in order to remedy the situation?
Well, suggestion well noted, I think, but I think we're better off with the Japanese coming forward with their assessment and doing what is necessary for the market, since they are the donor of the market, and they did the first design and supervise the construction of the facility in Brikama. I think it's better.
Honorable Member for Stanley Mentoring.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, with regards to Brikama Market, since you're still waiting for the Japanese partners to respond, when are you expecting to have this response from them? Thank you.
That was just what I may even get it tomorrow morning in the office, because the last time I remember when I answered questions about this ADB water project, as soon as I left here, I found a message in the office that they are disbursing $9 million. So it's even possible tomorrow morning I find a response there.
Member for Central Badibu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, can't you engage the councils who are they are taxpayers? They are responsible for collecting tax at the market, and people are paying tax to them. Let them be responsible. Can they have a role to play before the Japanese intervention? It's high time we depend on our local taxation.
Okay, we will engage the Ɓrikama Council through their parent ministry, that's the local government ministry.
Question number 042 of 2023 by the Honorable Member for Kiang East. Kiang West. Kiang East.
Honorable Speaker. Yes. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister... Yes.
You first of all declare that you are from Kiang West.
Exactly.
You are reading on behalf of Kiang. You say it yourself.
Honorable Minister, I'm asked to read these questions because his first question, I was asked to read all the questions. So this is why when I read the first question, and I indicated that I thought it was not necessary to repeat it the second time.
No, Honorable Member, all what you are saying is irrelevant, whether it's necessary or not.
Okay.
What we are saying is, it's not Kiang West, Kiang East who is speaking. You get up and say, I am from Kiang West, reading the question for Kiang East. That's all what we are saying. Very simple. It is being recorded.
Honorable Speaker, I am asking this question on his behalf. This is why I asked the first question. So, Honorable Member of Kiang West, I am asking this question on behalf of Honorable Member of Kiang East. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Fisheries and Water Resources update this August Assembly on the status of draft Gambia Water Bill 2020, the draft National Water Resources Authority Bill 2019, and the draft Meteorological Authority Bill 2018.
Honorable Speaker, I would like to inform the Honorable Member for Kiang East constituency that the Gambia Water Bill 2020, the Meteorological Authority Bill 2019, and the National Water Resources Management Authority Bill 2018 are ready. The cabinet paper for each are being prepared and would soon be ready for submission to cabinet for consideration.
Any supplementary?
Honorable Minister, you say would soon be ready. How soon would this be? Could we have a time?
I have no time frame, but as soon as, because we are sharing the cabinet paper with other ministries that are stakeholders in the whole process. And we always send to them for their comments. As soon as they are ready, we'll submit to cabinet.
Any more?
No, I have no further question.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister for Fisheries, Water Resources, for ably responding to questions posed by honorable parliamentarians. We thank you very much. Clerk, can we proceed?
Thank you. Question for oral answers by the Honorable Minister for Basic and Secondary Education.
Can the Honorable Minister for Basic and Secondary Education take the podium? Honorable members, questions for which due notices were given to the Honorable Minister for Basic and Secondary Education by honorable members for oral reply. Question number 045 of 2023 by the honorable member for Banjul South.
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. On behalf of the member for Banjul South, could the Honorable Minister for Basic and Secondary Education provide this August Assembly a complete update on the situation of the St. Mary's Primary School in Banjul? Thank you.
Good afternoon, Honorable Speaker and members of the National Assembly. Honorable Speaker, it would be recalled that the current location of St. Mary's Primary School is within the area earmarked for the Banjul Port expansion program. Consequently, due to increasing activities around the school relating to GPA operations, it was considered prudent to relocate the school to Reverend J.C. Fye Comprehensive School. However, it is unfortunate that the classrooms available at the Reverend J.C. Fye required renovations to be able to accommodate the students from St. Mary's Lower Basic. This work is still not yet effected because the sector is challenged with resources to be able to carry out the renovation work required at the school. The sector will continue to engage the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs for funds to be able to conduct the renovation as soon as possible. Meanwhile, discussions are underway with GPA and the Anglican Church for the relocation of the school to a permanent premises with new facilities. I would also like to inform the Honorable Member for Banjul South that in the event we cannot secure land to build the school, we may be compelled to relocate the school to the Cumbers, where the Anglican Church has secured a piece of land to put up new facilities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's well noted.
Any supplementary?
Said thank you. That's well noted. It's well answered. Yeah.
Question number 046 of 2023. Honorable Member for Banjul South.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. On behalf of the member for Banjul South again, I will want to administer this question. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Basic and Secondary Education tell this August Assembly the current status of the school enrollment, especially for girls, vis-a-vis the introduction of free, uninterrupted basic education since the previous regime? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, the introduction of free, uninterrupted basic education has indeed witnessed an increase in access to education, which in turn resulted in increased enrollment for both girls and boys. Overall, the enrollment for lower, upper, and senior secondary schools together has increased from 411,443 in 2014 to 616,264 in 2022. This represents about 50% increase of enrollment between 2014 and 2022. To break this down, the increment by gender, girls' enrollment for lower, upper, and senior secondary schools put together has increased from 208,221 in 2014 to 331,098 in 2022. This represents about 59% increase of the girls' enrollment between 2014 and 2022. Boys' enrollment for lower, upper, and senior schools has increased from 203,222 in 2014 to 285,166 in 2022, representing about 40% increment of the boys' enrollment between 2014 and 2022. Thank you.
Any supplementary, Honorable Member?
No, Honorable Speaker, thank you.
Question, yes, Honorable Member for.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we are talking about uninterrupted education or free uninterrupted basic education. My question is, what is the ministry's position on areas, villages, communities that are very far from schools, where you have young people without any opportunity of going to school? What is your position on that? Do you have any plan to establish schools in some of these communities?
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Speaker, yes, we do have. And that's why we talk about the out-of-school children. Since 2018, under the Education Sector Support Project, we have had support for out-of-school children, particularly in Sierra North, where the enrollment was not very good. And we have used that project to bring in those children who were out of school into school by putting up classrooms and providing them with other necessary facilities like provision of uniform, provision of shoes, stationery, and even lunch money to encourage them to get into schools. I went and I saw some of them, those out-of-school children, some 2 years back. And one of the communities I always remember, I wouldn't forget, is Sunchu Alasan in Sierra North, where for the first time the children were put in a temporal structure in a bid to capture those out-of-school children. And today they have permanent classroom blocks. 2 Fridays ago, we also launched another project by the Qatar Development Fund, and this is also for out-of-school children. About 66,000 children who are out of school are going to be targeted to be put into schools. Thank you.
Question number 047 of 2023, Honorable Member for Fonyi Bintang Karanai.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Minister for Basic and Secondary Education tell this August Assembly whether her ministry has any plans to construct more staff quarters for teachers, especially those in provincial Gambia?
Honorable Speaker, staff accommodation is a challenge that the ministry recognizes and is grappling with. However, there is no budget line as we speak to fund such constructions. It will therefore require a bold decision to create a budget line and appropriate funds to that effect, for which the support of this National Assembly is being solicited. Meanwhile, the ministry is continuously engaging its partners, especially MRC Holland Foundation, for the provision of staff quarters in our schools, especially in remote areas. Based on such engagement, I wish to note that currently every newly constructed school would have staff accommodation provided. The biggest challenge, however, is the existing schools without staff accommodation and the demand as a result of the rapid increase in staff numbers. Thank you.
Any supplementary?
Do you have
member for Binjang?
Do you have any plan to come with a budget line for staff quarters for teachers?
Well, it's something that we could consider, and we will bring it, and we hope and pray that as the concern is coming from this National Assembly, it will be given due consideration. Thank you.
Any more? Are you prepared to do so? How soon are you prepared to come up with such a thing?
Soon are you prepared to come with
the budget line?
Honorable Minister.
When I get to my ministry, we will discuss it at the level of admin, and we will decide what to do. Thank you.
Honorable Member for 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏𝒆𝒍.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, looking at the defect on accommodation for teachers in connection with the rental allowance, would you be ready in the next budget for us to see an increase budget in terms of the housing allowance, in which it will subsidize lack of accommodations in other new schools areas? Thank you.
The increase in rent allowance, or whatever you call it, is not the sole decision of the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, I suppose.
Yes.
So,
Honorable Minister,
yes, sir.
I myself don't want you to answer that question. You're going to put us in 40 positions. I mean, who appropriates funds? You know, when you are the one asking that question.
The idea is we would not be able to put something unless it is crafted on the end. Sorry.
Bucket line is more than enough. And he said he's going to create a bucket line. Even if you put $1, you now look at it because the demand is coming from you, as he said, and then you put in what you think is best.
Okay.
But it's not for her. If she puts in 10 million, you can make it $1. If she puts in $1, you can make it 50 million. Honorable Member for 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒆𝒍.
Honorable Speaker, I withdraw my question. Actually, the Honorable Minister has answered that. Thank you very much.
Question number 048 of 2023. Honorable Member for Nyani.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as we are faced with alarming truancy in schools and threats on lives of teachers leading to poor performance of students in external examinations, like Gabeshi or worse, could the Honorable Minister for Basic and Secondary Education explain to this August Assembly how 𝒚𝒐𝒖 intends to address this poor performance and other issues, example, the payment of textbooks and teachers' welfare?
Honorable Speaker, students' truancy in schools and the threats on the lives of teachers is not only affecting performance of students in external examinations, but also the fabric of our society as a whole. Thus, it requires both parents and society at large to face the challenge in order to curb this menace in our education system. Thank you.
Any supplementary?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please come.
Have the ministry have any plans of improving teachers' welfare when it comes to mobility to schools?
Honorable members, you were just talking about. Your question must relate to the principal question or to the answer.
But in the principal question, other issues
Honorable Member, I will let you ask the question. But let's make it fair so that there are certain questions that the Honorable Minister will have to go to get the figures and all these things to put them together. So when you have some of those questions, just put them in question as main questions and send it to the relevant ministries for them to answer for you. Can you go ahead? Let the Honorable Minister try to.
Honorable Speaker, I would. Yes, I understood the question. Yeah. Honorable Speaker, I would like to assure the Honorable Member that any issue that comes to our notice, to our attention, as regards the welfare of either the students or the teachers and the good of the sector, we will look into and address appropriately. Thank you.
You have something.
It's all right, thank you.
Honorable Member for Central Badibu.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, by attempting to answer this question, that tells us that there is high rate of truancy in our school system. Is this a fact? Or you have a data of that? I'm not convinced. If you have, please, can you help the House with that?
Honorable Speaker, I don't have the data here with me, and I'm not sure how alarming this business of or issue of truancy is in our schools, but perhaps it is something that needs to be investigated, and we may want to do that. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Kiang West.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. Honorable Minister, poor students' performance has just occurred recently, concluded worst exams in the last academic year. Could you inform this August Assembly what was the causes of this mass student failure and what are the measures to remedy this situation?
Let me get it right. Is that the only question from the Honorable? And that's what was being answered all along.
I didn't get you, Honorable Speaker.
I'm saying your question is the same as the Honorable Member for, where is it? Nyani's question is the principal question. That's all the time the minister was trying to answer and the supplementaries were coming from honorable members. And you are almost asking the same question.
It's almost, but not exactly.
Honorable Member, poor performance of students in external examinations. Could the Honorable Minister for Basic and Secondary Education explain to this August Assembly how her ministry intends to address the poor performance and other issues in those things? That's what you have just asked.
Asking, my question was specific about the poor performance was very general. I was specific about WAS exams and for the last academic year. That was my question about WAS exams and for the last academic year. That was very specific.
Look at the question yourself. You are making me, you are justifying what I'm saying. Because that was the Honorable Minister's all the times he was trying to answer. And you are taking us back to the same question. Question number 049 of 2023, Member for Nyani.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Could the Honorable Minister for Basic and Secondary Education assure this August Assembly that the second term School Improvement Grant, SIG, will be paid in full to schools before the end of the term?
Honorable Speaker, it will interest the National Assembly member for Nyani and this entire House that the SIG for the second term has already been paid since the end of February. It's already been paid. Thanks.
Question number 050 of 2023. Honorable Member for Serekunda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, is the Honorable Minister for Basic and Secondary Education aware that some of the schools in the Greater Banjul area are being used as sanctuary by criminals at night? And if yes, is her ministry collaborating with the Ministry of Interior and GPF to tackle the issue?
Honorable Speaker, the ministry is aware of the security challenges that some of our schools in the Greater Banjul area are facing. The problem is so challenging that in some of these schools, their classes are sometimes interrupted by the youths, particularly the afternoon shift classes. I therefore want to assure the Honourable Member that we have not only stopped at collaborating with the Ministry of Interior, and that is the Gambia Police Force, but other security agencies like the Drug Law Enforcement Agency, and even the parents as well, through the school management committees of these schools. I would like to equally crave the indulgence of the Honourable Member and all the Honourable Members here present to also add their voices in fighting this menace in our schools and in their neighbourhoods. Thanks.
Honourable Member, any supplementary?
No supplementary question.
Question number 051 of 2023 by the Honourable Member for Ilyasa.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, could the Honourable Minister for Basic and Secondary Education inform this August Assembly how soon schools affected by the windstorm will be rehabilitated?
Honourable Speaker, I would like to inform the Honourable Member that our challenge as a sector is finance, which is really affecting our operations as a ministry. In that regard, I would want to appeal to this August Assembly to consider giving my ministry a special preference whenever they are discussing the national budget, understanding the huge challenges confronting the sector. Thus, I will not hesitate to inform this August Assembly that some funds were allocated for the rehabilitation of schools in the 2023 budget, and already arrangements are in place to embark on rehabilitation soonest.
Any supplementary?
No supplementary, please.
No supplementary from the questionnaire himself.
Yes.
Then we have Central Badibu.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, will Mintakunda Lower Basic School will be part of this rehabilitation because it's in a very serious condition. You know, the school is not accessible. The children are not attending as they're supposed to do since last year's storm.
Honourable Speaker, since I don't have a list of the schools that are going to be rehabilitated right here, I may not be able to tell. But I want to believe that Mintekunda could be included in the list because there was an assessment done of affected schools. Honourable Speaker, I earlier said I wanted to inform this August Assembly that some funds have been allocated for the rehabilitation of the schools that were affected. So definitely, if it was allocated for schools affected, there is no way we could leave those affected schools and take care of other schools.
Honourable Member for Woolly East.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the Minister said she has some funds to rehabilitate some of these schools. Are you aware, Honorable Minister, that the Committee on Education had toured and have identified some schools that are affected? Have you prioritized their list, or you have your own list, which is different from theirs?
Honorable Speaker, I want to believe that if that tour report was shared with my ministry, there is no way that those schools would not be captured. Nonetheless, I don't have the list, and I am not the one working on the list, but my technical people whose responsibility it is, perhaps the Directorate of Services, will have that particular list. But nonetheless, I'll take note and find out if they made reference to that particular list that comes from
Question number 052 of 2023 by the Honorable Member for Ileasa.
Once again, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Basic and Secondary Education inform this August Assembly her ministry plans to supply core textbooks to schools?
Honorable Speaker, the ministry has signed a contract with Tan Print India PVT Limited for the reprinting of textbooks for grades 1 to 9, including teachers' guides. However, due to the advent of COVID-19 pandemic, the printing was delayed. The ministry is vigorously pursuing the contractor for the books to be delivered before the end of June 2023. Thank you.
Any supplementary, Honorable Member?
No supplementary question.
No. Honorable Member for Fonyi Bintang?
I withdraw.
Question number 053 of 2023.
Chair.
For member.
Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
Sorry, I've called the attention of the table clerk about a question, a supplementary question. Kia West.
The question was asked a long time. You raise your distinct for it to be noted. You don't wait until I am talking, and then you raise your tag.
Honorable Chair.
How many times do you want me to say this? You had all the time. You know I'm not calling people. If you raise your tag, the table office would write on it.
Honorable Speaker, I have raised it well before she was even done with the parent question. I have raised it.
But that's what he's telling me. He's telling me you talked about it when I was talking. The Honorable Member for Kiang West, you know, Kiang should not behave like Gara. You know, and you know that my grandmom, my maternal grandmother is from Kiang. But I don't want to associate with them. Honorable Member, can you pose your question before I move?
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for that opportunity. Honorable Minister, provision of textbooks for schools is one thing, but sustainability is another thing. During our days in teaching, I could remember textbooks will come in numbers, but to sustain them before the end of an academic year, you will not see much of textbooks. Do you put in sustainability plans to discuss with various authorities at various levels to ensure that the textbooks are maintained for a long period of time?
Of course we do, and I guess PTAs and SMCs are sensitized enough to be able to pay attention to the way their children handle these textbooks. In fact, I know that in many schools, the parents are even called in to sign and collect the books on behalf of their children, and they are appealed to make sure that they take care of the books. Thank you.
Question number 053 of 2023. Honorable Member for Fonyi Kansala.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Minister of Basic and Secondary Education inform this August Assembly why girls are not allowed to wear hijab or niqab, Muslim veil, in some schools in the country? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, I would like to inform the Honorable Member of Parliament, this National Assembly, that the Ministry has no clear policy on hijab and niqab. But until we do so, schools are encouraged to respect and accommodate religious diversity as long as such activities do not expose the school and others to any form of risk. However, as educationists, we value facial contact between the teacher and the student in the teaching and learning process. And the niqab poses a barrier in that regard. Again, as a sector, examination malpractice, which is of serious concern, is still a challenge. And one such way it will be impersonation. Niqab could be an easy avenue, since it would not be easy to ascertain who is behind the fully covered face. The Ministry appreciates public understanding on the issue as we try to come out with a clear policy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, these are two things that are rights, fundamental rights of every citizen, where a hijabi wearing hijab has her right to be educated. Are you telling this August Assembly no specific policies to protect that sect of Muslims?
Honorable Member, that's what he said. That's what she said.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, do you think, are you discriminating religious issues in the fundamental right of that girl child to protect her body from exposure in the Muslim way? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, like I already proceeded, there is no policy yet. This niqab and niqab or whatever, it is a new practice in our society, in our system, and in our schools. So unless we develop a policy...
Chair, can I correct the Minister, if possible, if I'm permitted? She's saying it's a new practice. I am saying to her that it is not.
No.
I seek your permission. Can I correct her?
No, you don't do
that. If I'm given...
You don't do that.
Okay, thank you.
She kept quiet until we are ready. Yes, Honorable Minister, can you continue?
Yes, sir. As I was saying, it's a new practice in our schools, and we need to develop a policy. So I would beg to rest my case. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Fonyi Bintang.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. There is a difference between niqab and hijab, and I'm here talking about hijab now. Are you aware that some of the students are sent home because they put on hijab? Are you aware that some of the students are sent home because of they put on hijab?
I'm not aware.
Honorable Member for Opanyomi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Honorable Minister, as it's been said by the Honorable Member for Nyebintankaranai, there's a difference between hijab and niqab. As you already said, niqab, avoid that facial contact between the students and the teacher. But like hijab encourage that facial contact. And we have been seeing that, these past months, some of the schools are avoiding, as school authorities are stopping students entering with hijab, not niqab, hijab into school. And in order to avoid encumbrances and commotion in the country, I think it's healthy. It's healthy, like you want those schools that are doing.
Honorable Member.
Thank you.
We have right to knock our tables, but we must do it as honorable members. What? Who is that?
He is from Foye.
Huh?
He is from Foye. He is from Foye.
It was not an opinion.
Let me speak. Let me ask a question. I ask you.
Opinion.
Are you aware that some schools authorities are?
Honorable Member.
He said no.
That question was answered.
Is no. It's finished.
Somebody asked it, and then the same question coming up. Honorable Member for Kia West.
Honorable Minister, since you don't know, I'm informing you that St. Teresa's School is stopping girl child and even Muslim teachers from
Honorable Member, you are not here to inform her.
I'm asking questions.
Honorable Member, you are here to ask her questions.
Honorable Minister.
Honorable, akama kala mutanga umweli. Barinko mantra jang kala mutanga minata minna kanyininka.
Honorable Minister, what would be your step towards schools who are stopping our girl child and Muslim teachers from covering their heads? Example, St. Teresa's Senior Secondary School, St. Teresa's School.
Honorable Speaker, I believe I've already answered this question. I have already answered the question.
These are very sensitive questions. And I am 100% in line with you. And I think there is a whole committee here on education. Questions are walking around one area when it is stated categorically that they don't have a policy, because these are new issues within the system. They are trying to work out on a policy. I think we delegate the Select Committee on Education to try to engage the ministry itself and get some information on these things and work towards amicably solving these problems. Banjul Central.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
My response satisfies you? Go ahead, then.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, I think it's quite clear that, as you made mention, we do not have a clear policy as to solve some of these issues. How soon do you think can your ministry start consultations or the necessary engagements to make sure some of these lapses or I would say these tensions that once in a while come up, how to solve these issues? How soon do you think your ministry can start working on these things? Thank you.
As soon as possible.
And in fact, I think the minister herself told us in her disposition that they don't have a policy, but they are working on it. She said it. Question number 054 of 2023. Honorable Member for Tumanda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Basic and Secondary Education shed light on her ministry's plan to strengthen SMCs and mothers clubs in our schools? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, the school management committees and mothers clubs are management structures created to support and strengthen the effective functioning of the school system. My ministry, therefore, does not only ensure that they are established in every school, but that they are functional. The school management manual stipulates the membership, the selection process, the terms of reference, and the tenure of office as applicable. In the case of the SMCs, the ministry allocates, furnishes, and equips National Association of SMCs, NASMAC. We furnish and equip their offices for the national, regional, and cluster executives. Provide logistical support to the national and regional executive committees to be able to conduct regular support visits to their members. We also continue to closely collaborate with the SMCs in the administration of schools, and for that reason, continuously build their capacity. In the case of the mothers' clubs, the ministry ensures that they are established in accordance with the SMM, that's the School Management Manual, building their capacities and supporting their programs. We also engage partners in the provision of motivational schemes to their membership in the form of allowances in recognition of their services.
Any supplementary, Honorable Member?
No, thank you.
Honorable Member for Woodley East.
Honorable Speaker, is the Mothers Club, is it a policy for them to register as an association, or is it just an internal management? Because many of these Mothers Clubs are calling on us to register their organizations.
Honorable Speaker, yes, I want to let the Honorable Member know that it is a policy to register because they are given support as a group in the form of grants. We give them what we call seed money to help them to engage in income generation activities. So hence it is important that they registered their clubs. Thanks.
Honorable Member for Fonyi Councillor.
Yes, thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Minister, as you have said, it's a policy for the Mothers Club to register. Could we also be the same thing where we could also work on initiating a Fathers Club for it to be policy? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, the Mothers Club was registered in the early 2000s for a particular reason, and that was to support in the girls' education campaign to get more girls into schools. Because when communities were engaged in sensitization of encouraging them to send girls to school, those were the days when we had very few girls in our schools at all levels. the mothers had a lot of issues that they brought about as bottlenecks to get these girls into schools. So that was the reason why we set them up as a structure, so that we will work with them, and working with them, give them support, empower them, they could allow the girls to go to school. And we have found the mothers' clubs to be very, very instrumental in increasing the enrollment at all levels, from lower, upper to senior secondary level. We have more girls than boys in our schools. And also for retention purposes, because we talk to them about early marriage and, those sort of things. And the policy pronouncements of access, retention, and completion. So they have been very instrumental in that. But as we will want to see how we could use their fathers as well to support us in ensuring that not only for girls' education promotion, but even for the boys. So it's something that we may want to look at.
I want to start in my
Honorable Member for Sani Mentoring.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you've rightly mentioned the support of Mothers Club. Who are these partners that helps in supporting this Mothers Club? Thank you.
We had UNICEF when we started in the early 2000s, 2003 to be precise. We work with the Mothers Club through FAWIGAM with support from UNICEF. And now we also are supporting the Mothers Club from the ESSP project. So these are the main partners, our traditional partners that we have supporting Mothers Clubs at the moment.
Honorable Member for Central Badibu.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Minister, since you said Mothers Club's role cannot be underscored, in retention and community mobilization, but how do you see in terms of gender, women only in the club, men also should be part of the club, not to have men's club, but to make it gender balanced?
I have already said we will consider how we can work with the men to promote and sustain education. So, but we also have the PTA structures in our schools, with this non-gender bias. It's made up of both mothers and fathers. So we're working with the mothers and the fathers as well. We're not leaving the fathers out at all. They're very important. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister for Basic and Secondary Education, for ably responding to questions from honorable members. Honorable members, I think you will agree with me that she is sitting on top of issues within her ministry. Congratulations, Madam.
Thank you very much.
Clark.
Thank you.
We have all teachers here.
Yes. Question for oral answers continues. Question for oral answers by the Honourable Minister for Tourism and Culture.
Honourable Minister for Tourism and Culture, can you take the podium? Honourable members, questions for which due notices were given to the Honourable Minister for Tourism and Culture by honourable members for oral reply. Question number 074 of 2023 by the Honourable Member for Serekunda.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, could the Honourable Minister for Tourism and Culture clarify to this August Assembly as to who is the right authority to collect the operational license for the tourism establishment?
Good afternoon, Honourable Speaker. Good afternoon, Honourable Members. Honourable
Speaker, the right authority to collect operational license for the tourism establishments is the Gambia Tourism Board. The Gambia Tourism Board was established by an Act of Parliament through the Gambia Tourism Board Act 2011. The Gambia Tourism Board is an entity responsible for coordination, administration, and marketing of tourism in the Gambia and for connected matters. The functions of the Gambia Tourism Board, pursuant to Section 4(1)(g)(h), is to classify hotels according to standards of facilities and services set out in regulations as license and maintain, register of hotels, nightclubs, casinos, tourist guides, and any other tourism enterprise. The of-mentioned provisions of the Gambia Tourism Board Act give the board the authority to collect operational license from the tourism establishment. The Tourism Board is the government regulator of tourism in the country, and one of its mandates is to ensure that all tourism facilities and amenities are of high and acceptable international standard. This is to ensure that the tourists visiting the Gambia will go back to their respective countries with a very good image of the Gambia, and that will make them talk about the Gambia as an attractive destination. Section 32(1) of the Gambia Tourism Board Act 2011 states that a person shall not operate premises as hotels, nightclubs, casinos, restaurants, except in accordance with a license granted by the board. The definition of hotel in the definition section of the Gambia Tourism Act it includes a guest house, rest house, tourist village, flat hotels, inns, lodges, lodging houses, or other premises used for the reception of guests or travelers. The Local Government Finance and Audit Act 2004 states in Section 23(1), except for hotels, inside and outside the tourism development area, a council is the licensing authority for the purposes of the Licensing Act and may exercise all powers vested in the authority by that act. Going by the above provision as well as definition of hotel in the Gambia Tourism Board Act, it is very obvious that the Gambia Tourism Board has the power to license tourist establishment in the country. It is not a coincidence that the Local Government and Finance Audit Act made an exception to hotels within and outside the tourism development area. Looking at the tourism establishment listed under hotels as well as the nightclubs, restaurants, casinos, tourist guides, and any other tourist enterprise, it is the right law that Gambia Tourism Board is the right authority to license tourism establishment.
Thank you. Any supplementary question, Honorable Member for Serekunda?
No, thank you.
Question number... No, but honorable members, when you have supplementary, raise them.
I think we need to be in contact, sir. I can't break off.
Huh? Yeah? Amaru. Janjambure, can you take the floor?
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for coming. My question here is, what will be the take of your ministry to say the local government authorities have been dragging service providers in the tourism and hospitality industry to court due to lack of payment of their land scenes or operational costs? Thank you.
This matter is being resolved between the tourism board and the municipalities concerned.
Question number 075 of 2023, Honorable Member for Bakau.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Tourism and Culture tell this August Assembly what plans or measures, if any, are in place to properly appropriate levy accounts for the $20 collected from the travelers departing and arriving at Banjul International Airport, and the status of the collection?
Honorable Speaker, it is my belief that this question should be redirected to the Minister of Interior for an appropriate answer. We are not responsible of the $20 levy. It's a security issue that belongs to the Ministry of Interior. It has nothing to do with the Ministry of Tourism and Culture.
Honorable Speaker.
Yes, please.
I have a supplementary question for that, please.
The supplementary to who? The Honorable Minister is telling you he's not the right minister to ask.
Honorable Speaker.
That's understandable.
Yes,
Honorable Speaker, I will insist to the Honorable Minister that this question can be directed on, because this was a stakeholder affair. With Tourism Ministry was part of the stakeholder that established this security port. So this is the second time Honorable Minister telling us that this is not under his ministry. It's a way of dodging the question.
And it affects its ministry directly. This is why we are sending the question to him.
What we are told, you people, you have your various committees. The Honorable Minister is informing you that the relevant ministry to be asked is the Ministry of
affects, Honorable Speaker, this issue affects his ministry.
If I am talking, when you are talking, I listen. If I am talking, you want me to listen to you? I will not. Unless you have the patience to listen, when I am ready, you talk. Honorable Member for Latrikunda, yes, but the Honorable Minister has said you posed your question to the... Do you believe that he is the line ministry?
Yes, I believe solely. The procurement process, the contract award, Ministry of Tourism was represented.
No, but the Honorable Minister would not come here to mislead Parliament. To come and tell us that it's not his ministry. Another Honorable Member was talking when I was talking. Who was he? Let him come on. Who was he? Who? Again. Okay. Then we are fine. Question number 076 of 2023. Honorable Member for Bakau.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it appears that most managerial positions at hotels in the Gambia are occupied by non-Gambian citizens. Would the Honorable Minister for Tourism and Culture tell this August Assembly what plans or measures his ministry put in place to stop this marginalization of governments when it comes to occupying senior managerial positions at these hotels?
Honorable Speaker, it appears that most managerial position, Honorable Speaker, as you may know, tourism is a people-to-people activity where human interaction plays an important role. As a result, tourists' expectations with regards to standards of resort facilities infrastructure, service and other variables such as environmental upkeep and general safety, health and security, and that impact on their stay in the destination are growing. Ensuring quality and high standard of service delivery have therefore become one of the key success factors for the tourism service providers and tourism industry in general, and it is linked to both the product development and marketing. Given these dynamics in the regional and global tourism trends with emphasis on quality, tourism and hospitality outfits need to focus more on quality service delivery and to meet the needs of discerning guests by incorporating new ideas in hospitality, focusing on wellness and quality service in terms of beds and other functional and technical aspects, including variety and presentation of culinary delights. However, based on authoritative studies, there is an inadequate human capacity at the supervisory and managerial levels, with an estimated 160 supervisors, 50%, and 180, 60% managers. Without the right qualification and required management skills to discharge their duties effectively in this fast-changing world of hospitality, this is further exacerbated by the general lack of consistency in offering hospitality students in industrial internship, thus denying them the important practical exposure prior to full employment in hospitality. And this is further compounded by an acute shortage of instructors' specialization on housekeeping, bakery, and pastry, nutrition at the highest level. Consequently, an estimated 10% of hospitality workforce constitute expatriates working in the sector, mostly in management, with few Gambians in such position. Honorable Speaker, government, and by extension the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, has not lost sight of the side effects of this trend on the medium and long-term needs of the hospitality industry, and as such measures have been put in place to curb the trend. As a start, my ministry is in consultation with relevant stakeholders to put in place a quota system governing the number of expatriates allowed to work in the sector. This way, we will be able to monitor and regularize the situation. Above all, plans are high on the agenda through the World Bank Tourism Diversification and Resilience Project to revisit the institutional infrastructure, including capacity building, educational training of key staff, and overhaul the curriculum to make the Gambia Tourism Hospitality Institute more market-oriented and relevant to the needs of the tourism and hospitality industry. The objective is to elevate the GTHI to a center of excellence for the hospitality industry, where professionals are trained in emerging and vital aspects of the fast-changing tourism hospitality sector. To go forth to serve the industry effectively and to ensure quality service delivery. This is an important component of the tourism and hospitality business and should therefore be a priority of human capacity development.
Honorable member, any supplementary? No supplementary, please. No supplementary.
Speaker, I want to observe. Your grandmom. No, I want to recommend.
And the office of the clerk, they are reminding me of the time. It's going 17:25. And we have two options if we are going to continue. I remember earlier we agreed that we would not go beyond, was it 5 or 6? 6, beyond 6, for us to go and do our iftar. Under the circumstances, what do we do? Do we move a motion? Can somebody move a motion? Either way, either to continue to finish or to do whatever you want to do. Yes, honorable member for Upper Nyumi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Honorable Speaker, I rise to move a motion that this assembly sit beyond 6 o'clock to finish business. Thank you.
Honorable member, my problem with that is the clerk must tell us whether they have made arrangements for members for iftar.
Seconded.
If there are no arrangements, because honorable members, what I remember, we agreed here that we are not going to extend above 6 o'clock. In fact, today when I came, in my statement, I informed you of tomorrow what we intend to do, because I have in mind that we will have to agree on that, because we have already agreed that we are going to close at 6. That was why I prepare your minds for us to do it tomorrow.
Speaker, can I?
But for this one now, if we are moving a motion, Honorable Member for Upper Nyomi.
Honorable Speaker, I
was going to say that, Honorable Members, I was going to say that both sides of Parliament discuss and then you move a common motion that is agreeable to most people.
Honorable Speaker, may I observe, please?
Deputy Speaker.
Honorable Speaker.
Minority Leader first. Minority Leader.
Speaker, I think we have very few questions left. And then this is a situation whereby today is the only last day left for question and answers. I hope if we manage time from both the ministers and the members, we can finish before 6.
Honorable Member, are you saying that we finish the day's business? Okay. All right. Yes, honorable member, honorable nominated member. TD, Deputy Speaker.
No, it's okay. I wanted to say that we finished.
So, honorable members, then it means we can move the motion to sit beyond 6 to finish the order. All right. Then the honorable member of Opanyomi has moved it. Any seconder?
Yes, the
minority leader. Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that the House sits beyond 6 o'clock to finish today's order paper. Those in favor, please say aye. Not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. We will sit to finish. Honorable members, at the end of the sitting, we are going to have a record of attendance.
It doesn't matter.
Clarification. Member for Bakau, do you have any supplementary question? No.
No supplementary.
No.
No.
Honorable member for Woolly East.
I will not withdraw. You want us to spend the whole night here? I will not withdraw. You are not the speaker.
Honorable member for Woolly East. I'm not hearing you.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, the question I want to ask is, the honorable member has accepted that Gambians generally are not in that top managerial position. So my question is, do you have any plans, really conscious plan, to augment the capacity of the Gambians to ensure that they, come to take care of those managerial positions in the tourism industry?
Capacity building.
Thank you, honorable member from Woolly East constituency. I try to shorten the answers as per the advice of the central member for Badi. But I just want to tell you something, from this August Badi. Since after COVID, we've lost over 5,000 qualified Gambians into the international job market. Even our lecturers have been poached and taken away. While you talking about people coming here, we have more Gambians leaving for better jobs internationally. And as a government, we felt we cannot stop it and we shouldn't stop it. What we should do is to train more Gambians so that more Gambians can go overseas and send their remittances to this country. We are faced with that challenge. And even our hotels are suffering at the moment. But then we cannot stop Gambians getting better jobs outside. We have a program already. We approached the World Bank to help us train another 5,000 Gambians in the next 2 years to make sure that they will replace those that have gone. And this is one of the reasons that we believe is affecting us. The rate of people leaving the country is high. Although Gambia is having a small setback, particularly those who are going in the cruise liners, we have got information that a lot of them are absconding, and that may kill the Gambian program. And I think our citizens who are going should go as ambassadors of this country. When you have a job, you are given a job, you are earning, live, work, and respect your contractual obligations. But I can tell you that you go to most hotels in the world, particularly in the Middle East today, you will find Gambians as managers. And I think that's
Honorable Member, 2 minutes. Honorable Minister for Tourism, 2 minutes. If we allow you, we will speak until tomorrow morning.
Speaker, I'm done with it.
Honorable Member for Serekunda.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, thank you very much. Serekunda, which Serekunda? It's me, Serekunda.
West. Okay, Honorable Member for Serekunda West.
Thank you very much. Anyway, this is usual. We are both from Serekunda. Honorable Speaker, in as much as we cannot stop our Gambian citizens working outside the country, but we are also investing in training more Gambians. Is your ministry putting anything in place so that there is a contract signed, at least a minimum of 5 years, trained personnel can stay and serve the country or more? What I'm saying is, are you bonding? Bonding. Since we are training more, we couldn't just allow them to go without bonding.
Well, under the circumstances, I think the Gambian people need the remittance of this money of Gambian, and also we want Gambian to earn better. I don't think it is fair to bond them for 5 years. It's too long, and it violates their fundamental rights. So,
Honorable Minister, are you bonding?
No, we are not. We are not bonding them.
You are not bonding?
No, they are free. In the tourism sector, we are bonding nobody. We train you, become qualified, a Gambian, you have a right to that qualification. If you have a job, you go. Period. Yes, we will not bond anybody. Not when I am minister. We will not bond anyone. Yes.
Honorable Member for Central Badibu.
Honorable Speaker, I think the Honorable Minister is not understanding. We said if you are spending on people, you train them, you invest, and they leave you and go, is that a good, is that good for your institution or not? At least they must serve for a period.
Mr. Speaker, that's why we are strengthening our training institutions to make them better. Gambians have a right to proper quality education, and we have a responsibility to give it to them. That's our position as a government.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I think what the Honorable Minister should understand, if any training that government is investing people on, you must be bonded, either this is college or university or where. And you said you have approached the World Bank. Is this approach to the World Bank, is it loan or grant? Because citizens cannot take loan, train somebody and leave the jurisdiction when the person is not bonded. In fact, that's not the law. The law always says if government is spending on you, you have to be bonded. That's what I know. Since from the college to the university.
Honorable, what is your question?
My question is, the ministry should bond people. My question is, in the World Bank, is it a loan or a grant? That's my question.
Honorable, Mr. Speaker, I want to inform the Honorable Member that any training that we're doing for now is meant for Gambians. However, you must understand that the biggest grant World Bank ever gave to any government institution since we became members of the World Bank 55 years ago, the tourism sector got the biggest chunk of $68 million grant in 5 years. Therefore, we have the capacity and the ability to train more Gambians for the betterment of the Gambian people as a government. Thank you.
Honorable members, I think we now move to question number 076 of... I've done 70. Yeah. Question number 077 of 2023 by the Honorable Member for Bakau.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, most stakeholders in the hospitality industry complain that the all-inclusive package is a great hindrance to the country, to the industry. Could the Honorable Minister for Tourism and Culture inform this August Assembly why his ministry tolerates the practice and whether his ministry cannot negotiate a more advantageous package with the tour operators?
Mr. Speaker, this is the 7th question this gentleman, Honorable Member for Bakau, have asked me since we came to power.
Yes, because...
And I've given you the same response. Therefore, for saving the time of this August body, I will not read the answer as it is printed on this document. I will just tell you. Out of every 10 tourists in the world, 6 of them are on all-inclusive. As a destination, we cannot avoid all-inclusive or we close our hotels. What the government is doing, we select particular hotels that can do all-inclusive and that we will maintain. And this, as I said, and I said to this assembly before, in 1994, when the military regime came in, the same people complained about all-inclusive. The entire tour operators, most of them, closed the Gambia, went to 𝒂𝒄𝒏 and developed 𝒂𝒄𝒏. Today, 𝒂𝒄𝒏 is with 850,000 tourists going to 1 million because of this unjustified, unscientific information that they are spreading, which I believe it is not true. We cannot be diverted as a government to take anything against all-inclusive. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Minister stated that this is the 7th time that I have been coming with this question. It is my right and it is my responsibility because
Honorable.
I'm coming,
Honorable Member for Bakau. The Honorable Minister is not telling you it's not your right.
It is my...
He knows that it's your right. Otherwise, he will not respond. He has responded. He's just telling you that this is about the 7th time
I need to emphasize my right as well because he emphasized that this is the 7th time I have been coming with this question.
Do you have any supplementary?
Yes, I'm coming up with my supplementary. This is a concern to me that this concern has been raised to me by my electorates that the all-inclusive, they are not happy about it. So it is my right.
Honorable Member, please ask your question. Do you have any supplementary?
This is what I'm saying, Honorable Speaker.
No, you are not saying that.
I'm making a statement, but I'm coming with my supplementary if you give me a chance. Honorable Minister, I have put it to you that my stakeholders, there are stakeholders who are not happy with this all-inclusive. So this is why I'm emphasizing this question to you. You said this 7 times. What's your position to make sure that this all-inclusive does not exist in the country?
Honorable Speaker, let me tell the Honorable Member for Bakau constituency, I respect all your rights. And it's your right to ask, and constitutionally it's my responsibility to answer. And I will always answer when you ask. But let me tell you, all-inclusive is here to stay. Out of every 10, 6 of them are, and we will not close this industry for few people who are there complaining about you for us to kill this country.
It is wrong for you to say few people are there to complain. 98% of the stakeholders are not happy about this all-inclusive. So it is their right to put it to me, to put that question before you.
Honorable Member for Kiang West.
Honorable Speaker, this question is admissible. This is why the Honorable Minister appeared for it, and it's appeared on the other paper. And Honorable Minister stated that he is not going to read the response in writing, which has been supplied to the office of the clerk. We want to know what has been responded to this question.
No. Honorable Member, this is oral questions and answers. It's not written. Honorable Member, Honorable, you don't go by what you feel is right. You go by what we have as records and our guiding principles.
Honorable Speaker.
The standing order states that this is questions, oral questions. Do you have answers? Do you have answers? Do you have copies of answers, of the answers? You see, if it were a written question, everybody would have it. This is just for oral. You have your oral question, you read it for him, he answers. If he has it written, he answers.
What I'm saying is, he clearly indicated, I'm not going to read the response to this answer. I'm not going to read it.
Honorable Member, I don't know, Honorable Member, whether he reads it or not, that is not your prerogative.
That was a request from your colleagues who wanted to save time.
Please, 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 please. Honorable Members, I have said this several times. We all agreed here that let's be as precise as possible because we don't have time. And that's what the Honorable Member said in his first statement. He said, I will not go further because you asked us to be brief. This is what he said. And now what you are asking is not your prerogative. Whether he reads it or he does not read it, he has no obligation to read it. What he should do is to answer your question orally. Is that very clear? If it were written questions and answers, you would have been given one, and he will be bound to read it. Yes, Honorable Member for Brikama North.
I want to say, when I was seconding the motion to sit beyond 6, I did appeal to the ministers and both the members. In as much as we can, we manage the time so that we can finish the business. I think it is in this spirit that the minister is trying to manage the time.
Indeed. Honorable and Speaker. In addition, it is not whether the minister reads the question or not. It's not our affair. No, let's get that very clear. It's oral questions and answers. Honorable Member for Kiang, you are the one on the floor, huh? Kiang West. Can you continue with your question, please, if you have?
No, I'm okay. I'm fine.
Honorable Member for Brikama North.
Honorable Minister, it appears that all-inclusive is still a growing concern in the tourism industry. And your position is the all-inclusive is here to stay. Have you considered engaging those in the business so that they actually understand what all-inclusive is and try to alleviate their constraint in the sector?
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I want to inform the minority leader and member for Brikama North that is exactly what we are doing now. The tourism policy has addressed it, and now it's going through costing, and as soon as it's completed, adopted by Cabinet, I will certainly promise to come to this August body to inform you of this policy and avail you a copy of this policy so that everybody can be acquainted with the policy that we have, because the policy dictates the strategy. And this all-inclusive is captured there and well explained. And indeed, where all stakeholders were present, all of them, in a whole, they all agreed, discuss it, and will enlighten people more about it. I promise that we will do that. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Central Badigo.
Yes, Honorable Minister, the plight of those who are not part of this inclusive. So do you have another strategy or plan to better their lives?
It is not my responsibility to better their lives. It's for them to work to better their lives.
Honorable Member for 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏𝒆𝒍.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you are speaking to lawmakers, people who can make the law within the blink of an eye. You said, as far as you are the minister, it states. My question is, why do you say that? You said, as far as you are the minister, all-inclusive states, as far as you are the minister, you are not bonding. And you're speaking to lawmakers. We can make a law today and say it's not all-inclusive. So my question now is, why do you make these two statements?
This is the government of the Gambia. I speak here on behalf of the government of the Gambia, not as Minister Ahmad Bah. This is the position of the government of the Gambia on these issues.
And honorable members, it is the business of the executive to make policies. It is our business to make laws. If we feel that if the executive brings a policy, we can contribute towards it, we can debate it, we can do these things. If we feel something is going wrong, let's legislate and make it a law. Member for Lower Salu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, in your submission, you said the member asked the question for 7 times and the same answer. Are you ready to engage the member in a way to put things for the betterment for our people? Are you ready to engage the member?
Let me, please, can we hear the question, please? Please. No.
Ask this thing, please.
Honorable Member, please. Honorable Deputy Speaker is not on the seat of the Speaker, but he's interrupting.
Pardon?
Honorable Deputy Speaker, he's interrupting.
You are
Mr. Speaker, let me close the chapter. Mr. Speaker, I am
Honorable Member for Lower Salum. Can we hear your question, please?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
We are all to hear it. Oh, I should not hear it?
Yes.
There's a new standing order law. Okay.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I am still bringing dialogue between the member and the minister. Whether he is in a position to engage the member on this issue. Because this is 7 times he's asking this question. The member of Bakau.
Mr. Speaker, I have heard the member for Lower Salum constituency. I want to assure you that my ministry, no member of parliament is required to make an appointment. Even when you come, I'm on meetings, I suspend the meeting and attend to parliamentarians. The member for Bakau constituency knows we are best of friends. But I think he needs, as you said, we'll invite him to come anytime he wants to. He just needs to call us and we'll give him more information about this all-inclusive. I'm sure he will change his opinion about it.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Tourism and Culture. You had very few questions. But, you know, a former parliamentarian, we should not be surprised. And we thank you very much. You seem to also to be on top of things in your ministry. We wish you every success. We wish you every success. Honorable Clerk.
Thank you. Question for oral answers continues.
Pardon?
Question for oral answers by the Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Gambians Abroad.
For Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Gambians Abroad, you may take the podium. Honorable members, questions for which due notices were given to the Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Gambians Abroad by honorable members for oral reply. Question number 079 of 2023 by the honorable member for Latrikunda Sabiji.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Honorable Speaker, traveling to India, especially for treatments, is tedious, time-consuming, and very inconvenient for sick persons to undergo the normal visa processing. Could the Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs inform this August Assembly when his ministry will work at modalities to ensure that the visa exemption for diplomatic and service passport holders is extended to sick ordinary Gambian passport holders as well for medical treatment? Thank you very much.
Honorable Speaker, please allow me to inform the Honorable Member for 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏𝒆𝒍 and by extension your August Assembly that the visa waiver agreement between India and the Gambia for diplomatic and service passport holders is already being implemented. Besides, it is common tradition that the scope of the agreement for visa exemption for diplomatic and service passport holders does not cover ordinary passport holders of the parties concerned. However, on a positive note, the Indian authorities have taken into consideration the urgency of certain visa applications, including those of sick individuals, as the Indian Embassy in Dhaka offers emergency medical visas obtainable within 72 hours.
Thank you very much. I don't have any supplementary question, and this question is very clear. I think honorable members too should not ask any supplementary.
Question number 080 of 2023 by the Honorable Member for Tumanna.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Gambians Abroad inform this August Assembly whether his ministry have any plan to enfranchise Gambian diaspora to vote during elections? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, the government of the Gambia is more than willing and committed to facilitating Gambians in the diaspora to vote during national elections. In fact, consultations and engagements on this issue are on course between all relevant stakeholders in order to be able to resolve the hurdles impeding the operationalization of diaspora voting and representation. Recently, government in close collaboration with partners carried out some studies including the projection of the population of Gambians in various diaspora jurisdictions, the assessment of capacities of our missions to coordinate the process, as well as the identification of proposed registration and polling stations in demarcated locations across the diaspora. In addition, the proposed diaspora constituency has been demarcated as follows, based on population concentration. 1. Africa. 2. South and Eastern Europe. 3. North and Western Europe. 4. Americas and the Caribbean. 5. Middle East, Asia and Oceania. Therefore, given the importance of this issue, government continues to deepen the necessary consultations with relevant stakeholders to specifically look into ways of addressing the technical and legal issues impeding the realization of this objective. Government will also continue to count on the support and collaboration of this August National Assembly in pursuit of this common goal. Yes. No, the member for Tumana, does he have any?
Yes, no, thank you very much. No supplementary.
No supplementary. Yes, Honorable Member for Central Badibu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, thank you for this information. Are you telling us that before the next presidential election, this thing will be in place, 2026?
Well, I cannot promise that, but consultations are ongoing and we'll do our best to make it happen. But you must take into consideration also the financial implications.
Thank Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, for giving me this opportunity. Honorable Minister, with regards to the elections of or our people in the diaspora to conduct their voting during elections, you said in your declaration, you mentioned that consultations are ongoing. So how far have you gone with those consultations? Thank you.
Well, it'll be difficult to measure the level of consultation, how far they've gone. But what I can tell you that it's an ongoing process.
Thank you very much.
Members of the diaspora. And there is a group, I remember the NGO, international NGO, that is really working and trying to encourage that consultation. And they've been doing it for a while now. But as I said, the challenge is the financial implication. We must take that into consideration. Do we have the resources as of now to do that? Because based on the principle of equity, once you start it, you have to do it for all of them. No discrimination.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. And thank you for ably responding to questions posed by parliamentarians.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
We are most grateful. Clerk, can we proceed?
Thank you. Question for oral answers continues. The Honorable Minister for Defense.
Can the Honorable Minister take the podium, please? Honorable members, questions for which due notices were given to the Honorable Minister for Defense by Honorable members for oral reply. Question number 096-2023 by the Honorable Member for Fonyi Bintang.
Yes, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Baji has informed me to ask the question on his behalf. I don't know whether he has informed the table office. Before he leaves.
Fonyi Bintang was here.
He just left emergency. He had an emergency.
No, but if he had an emergency, we are all here. He should have notified us.
He informed me to inform the gathering.
No, you cannot just leave that way. Question number 097. Honorable Member for Brikama North.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Defense update this August Assembly on the state of location of the Lance Corporal Lamin Bojang firing range at 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏, the plans for the construction of the military hospital and the demarcation of the site?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Good evening, and honorable members of this August Assembly. The Ministry of Defense and the Gambia Armed Forces are committed to the relocation of the Lance Corporal Bojang firing range at Brikama and the construction of a military hospital on the site. This will ensure the provision of quality health care for the people and promote safety and security of the people in the satellite environment of 𝒂𝒂𝒏. However, we must not forget that the relocation of the firing range and the construction of the military hospital is a capital-intensive project, and once the funds are available, the relocation of the range and the construction of the hospital will commence. As for the demarcation of the site, my ministry and the Gambia Armed Forces are working closely with the Land Ministry in this regard. Thank you.
Any supplementary, Honorable Member for Brikama North?
Yes, earlier on we were informed that this one has been taken for the relocation and the site has been identified and the ministry is working on the logistics. How far with that?
I am not quite sure about those details that you have presented, but I'll get back to the ministry and the Gambia Armed Forces, and then we'll come back to Fonisho on that. But what we have now is that we are working with the Land Ministry to have the demarcation of the site. That is currently what is going on. Thank you.
Honorable member for Bikama.
I think I will inject the minister privately.
Okay.
Because
question number 098 of 2023, Honorable member for Fonyi Kansala.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Defense inform this August Assembly why are Senegalese drones roaming in the Fonyi satellite villages and the continuous shooting of cells landing into the compounds in Fonyi and displaying citizens internally in the region, resulting them to abandon their lands, which they depend on for livelihood. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Like I have said, this was in question 1, when the Honorable Member is not on seat, that deals with the use of our space and territory by the Senegalese. What we have done with this issue is that we have addressed this matter with the Senegalese, with our Senegalese counterpart, so that their military planners and those responsible for making the strategic decision in targeting decision when they are calling for fire will exercise extra careful when making these targeting decisions, so that these cells and drones will keep the conflict away from the Gambia. It is imperative to note that the peace in the Fonyi general area means peace in the Gambia, and insecurity in Fonyi also means insecurity in the Gambia. That is why the Gambia Armed Forces is making its deployment in Fonyi area, that is supporting the 4th Infantry Battalion operation in Kanilai, both as a show of force to restore confidence of the people and to keep the Fonyi in general safe and secure for the residents in the area to go about their normal business. We have engaged our Senegalese counterpart to make sure that such do not happen in our land and airspace, and this we have addressed seriously. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. As the engagement is still on with the Senegalese counterpart, drones and cells are landing in Fonyi. Are you sure they are respecting the territorial integrity of a country called the Gambia?
Thank you, Honorable Member. Let me make it very clear. Any use of our national territory should be expressed with the approval of the government of the Gambia. This we have expressed with our counterparts, that is the Senegalese side, and they must respect that. Our national air and land territory is our national sovereignty, and that they must respect. Thank you.
Any more supplementary question? Yes?
As per the look of the border and in Fonyi, the contingent or the team that was sent has been removed, where it is now the Kanilai barracks that is controlling that end. And the people of Fonyi are seeing to it that the support that was there is no more there. What is your preparedly approach to make sure that team that was there to belt the border is reinstated back? Thank you.
If I understand you well, you're talking about our deployments around the corridor of the Fonyi. Our deployment continue to exercise their duties around the border end to give confidence and to restore peace and security in the general area. That is our instruction given to our troops, and that they will maintain. Thank you.
Honorable nominated member Maimouna Cissé.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Minister for Defense. Territorial integrity is a principle under international law. And I think every sovereignty has a right to defend your country, which we have no doubt about that. But the way Senegal is treating the people of that area, I think is unacceptable. And I think your ministry should make sure to have at least, if it is going to be a community sensitization, to collaborate with the people of Fonyi, because the situation, the way we are looking at the situation, I don't think it's favorable, because I can witness some certain incidents. I was in Fonyi when that was happened. I don't want to go into detail about it, but I think the responsibility should be in your hand.
Sure.
Thank you.
What is your question, honorable member?
My question is they need to have at least a sensitization in regards to the issue between the two countries and the people of Fonyi.
That is a statement.
No, it's not a statement, Honorable Speaker.
You are saying that they need to have sensitization. What are you asking him?
Can the ministry have at least? Can the ministry engage the two parties, which is the Fonyi and the minister, the foreign land of Senegal? Because the way the situation are going on, we are not foreseeing anything that will lead us to peace. That's my perspective. The ministry should be in.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Like I have mentioned, our land, territory, and airspace is our national sovereignty, and we must commit ourselves to make sure we protect that. For the incidences that have happened in the recent past, we have seriously engaged our Senegalese counterpart to make sure that such do not occur again. As for engaging the people of the two communities in that border, we are going to do that, and we have also consulted the Secretariat of the Border Commission, and they have also been intensifying their efforts in that general area. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Fonyi Jaro.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, I just want you to tell us what is the threat in Fonyi that these drones are sent there in search of?
As far as we are concerned, our military calculation shows no indication of threat. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Woolly East.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, has the Minister of Defense accepted that cells are being landed in compounds in Fonyi and people are being displaced? If so, if that is the case, what is the ministry doing about the displaced citizens?
Thank you, Honorable Member. We are aware of few incidences where artillery cells and other projectiles landed in our territories. And these are unexploded ordnances that came as a result of the military operation between the Senegalese armed forces and the MFDC. That does not mean that Senegal intentionally direct those fires into our territory. What I want to make clear here is that those landed out of miscalculations, and we have addressed that to the Senegalese authorities. Thank you.
My question is not answered, Honorable Speaker. My question is about displaced persons. What do you do about those displaced persons?
Thank you, Honorable Member. I am not aware of any displaced persons. I'm not aware of any displaced persons.
Honorable Member for Lower San.
It's all right, Honorable Speaker. Huh? It's all right.
Honorable Member for Talindi. Punjab.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister just mentioned about unexploded ordinances. My question is, considering the risk of these unexploded ordnance within the community, has the ministry or the security installations have they done any civic education with regards to the people of the community when such incidents happen? What should they normally do to protect themselves and extend the information to the right authorities?
Thank you, Honorable Member. Of course, we will continue to educate the communities living around the borders on the issues regarding unexploded ordinances. Also, when such projectiles are also seen and they are aware that they report to our deployments immediately. The Honorable Member for Fonyi, in fact, witnessed one incident where deployments were informed and they got to the site and take care of these unexploded ordinances, the experts dealing with exploded ordinances. Thank you.
Question number 099 of 2023, Honorable Member for Kansala.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Minister of Defense update this August Assembly on the effort his ministry is doing to ensure that the satellite villages that are deprived of their rice field because of Senegalese economic checkpoint at Buyam is resolved?
Thank you, Honorable Member. I also find it difficult to establish a clear nexus between the deployment of ECOMIC in Buyam and how that is an obstruction to the owners of these rice fields in the area. I have engaged ECOMIC Command on the issue, and it was made very clear that ECOMIC is not depriving the community from using their rice field. The community is free to use their rice fields for their agricultural activities. And very soon my ministry is going to issue a presser on this to inform the general public. The people are free to use their rice fields. My ministry and the Gambia Armed Forces have engaged ECOMIC also to devise ways and means of winning hearts and minds of the people. That is the only way we can win the trust and confidence of the people, and I am happy to inform you that ECOMIC has since intensified its outreach through community service and the provision of free health care through the community. I can assure you that ECOMIC will not intentionally do anything to disrupt the work of the people in their rice field. The people of Fonyi are free to do their activities in their rice field. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, for 6 years today, women within those satellite villages are deprived, and I personally, when I ascend, had also engaged still. They told, let them not be nearer to their area, which are all rice fields, both left and right of the road. I am putting this to you. Have you ever visited the area to qualify and see whether is the deprived area that they are stationed as a minister?
Thank you, Honorable Member. I have already mentioned that I have engaged the Economic Command on this issue, and I want to inform you that the people of Fonyi are free to go about with their normal activities in their rice fields. My office is going to make a press release on this to inform the general public. They are free to go ahead with their activities in their rice field. However, I have not visited that particular rice field you are mentioning, but I have been to the general area in Fonyi. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, I am putting this to you.
Honorable Member, you are not here. You are always asked to ask a question.
Are you the Speaker? Can you put your house in order, my brother?
Whom is he talking to?
Opa Nyomi.
Huh?
Opa Nyomi is interrupting.
Honorable
Member,
to you, please. Honorable Member,
a point of
always address your questions to me.
No, he was
and
interrupting
avoid
me.
responding to others who may want to distract. If you want to respond to every small bit, you will not put up your question. Can you go ahead, please?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Well, the Honorable Member has exceeded the limit of supplementary questions.
Him to make that question. Pardon?
Thank you very much.
He's making...
Who has exceeded? This is my second question.
Yeah, I have already granted him.
Thank you very much for... I think fasting has controlled you. I am not. Honorable Minister, with your involvement and my involvement, are you ready for us to set a date and go and visit the territorial area to ascertain the difficulties that my people have faced for 6 years in the area?
Thank you, Honorable Member. I will engage you and we will go and visit. I am ready to join you. Thank you.
Yeah. Ali.
Thank you. It's done.
For Honorable Member for Jarrol.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, according to your response to my supplementary question, you said there is no threat in Fonyi. What is the purpose of having this checkpoint then at Buya?
Have you made any supplementary? This is the first supplementary question.
No, I'm just...
Huh?
No, that's... Can I ask again? According to his response to my question, I asked, the first one.
These are your questions. Okay. Dealing with your previous question.
Okay, let me frame it.
We are dealing with the current questions.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Minister, there is no threat in Fonyi. Why do you have this military checkpoint at Buyam?
Thank you, Honorable Member. The checkpoint in Buyam on the side of the Gambia Armed Forces is like any other deployment across the country. For the 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏, it is also a strategic location for their deployment in Fonyi, like other deployments in other parts of the country. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Latrikunda Sabiji.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, thank you very much for your reactions. I just want to remind the Honorable Minister, this is 6 years now. Let's remind ourselves that this country is a sovereign nation.
Hey,
my question, I'm lady founder, you cannot...
Honorable Member, next time I will not give you the floor.
My question is, Honorable Minister, when are we going to consider to remove the Senegalese forces in this country? Because anything can happen. Today we are good neighbors, tomorrow we can be bad neighbors. Our security information are sent to Senegal every day. When are we going to remove Senegalese soldiers inside our jurisdiction and give the mandate to our Gambian soldiers?
That is a substantive question. You are talking about removal of Senegalese forces from the Gambia. That has nothing to do with right field security that the member for Fonyi Kansala is asking. Removal of Senegalese forces. Honorable Member for Sani Mentere.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I withdrew my question because it has been answered by the Minister. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Lower Salu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you have confirmed to the members of Parliament that you are ready to engage the member of Parliament to go and visit this site. If at all you visit this site, if the member, what he is saying, that the 6 years Rashfield was taken from the 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏, are you ready to compensate the farmers?
You are making an
assumption on that farmland.
I want to thank you for your responses to the various oral questions from honorable members. We wish you every best.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, honorable members.
Clerk, can we proceed?
Thank you. Question for oral answers by the Honorable Minister for Communication and Digital Economy.
Very much. Honorable Minister for Communication and Digital Economy may take the podium. Honorable members, questions for which due notices were given to the Honorable Minister for Communications and Digital Economy by honorable members for oral reply. Question number 100 of 2023, the Honorable Member for Brikama South.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, is the Honorable Minister for Digital Economy prepared for the digitalization of all the potential revenue with unique identification number in order to enhance domestic revenue mobilization in consultation with the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs?
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to come and answer some of this question for our ministry. Honorable Speaker and members of the august body, may I first of all start by thanking Honorable Lamin J. Sane at Brikama South constituencies for asking this important question. The Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy is in collaboration with the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs and the Ministry of Interior and other relevant stakeholders have started the discussion on creating a national digital ID system by integrating all ID systems and provide a unique digital ID for all for the top is one of the top priority. In regard to this digital payment, it is one of my ministry top priority as well. We have started exploring various strategies on development and an integrated digital payment system with the hope of deploying it. Therefore, to boost the revenue and mobilization of the collections, let me just be brief. In this country, in order to manage and deploy our digitalization from cash to cashless economy, we have to have first a national digital ID card that would incorporate every aspect of our citizen from the time you're born to the time you leave this planet. For example, you cannot plan your economy without starting the first pillar, which is having a digital ID as a country. So with that, I can assure you, hopefully by the end of this year, that we will have a good framework to make sure that we have this digital ID no later than end of 2024 for our national citizen of this country. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Brikama South.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. I think it's good for you to start engagement. Since before the end of this fiscal year, we'll have the digital ID. How about the revenue component of it? When are we expected to have a digitalized revenue system in the country?
Thank you very much for that question. There are 5 pillars my ministry have initiated, and these 5 pillars are the pillars that are going to drive this country from poverty to prosperity. And I will just name them for the sake of the record. 1, we have to have a second submarine cable in this country. Everybody is complaining about how expensive internet is in this country. 1. 2, we have to have a national data center.
Just maybe.
I am sure, Honorable Minister, the mic wants to tell you that you only had 2 minutes.
Thank you.
And then, because I did not stop you, it decides to go back.
Thank you. You have the second submarine cable, the data center, the digital ID card, the e-governance, and the national payment gateway switch. These are the 5 pillars we have to implement to make sure this country is digitalized. These are the pillars that will take us forward in digitalization. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Brikama South, any supplementary?
I only want to thank the minister for the bold decision that he has taken, and I hope and strongly pray it will come to life.
Question number 101 of 2023 by the Honorable Member for Joshua.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Information explain to this August Assembly the contractual agreement between Gamtel and Sonatel of Senegal on the backup cable, backup cable, and who is bearing the cost?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Member. The Cross Gambia Cable 1, which we call CG1, is an infrastructure joint owned by Gamtel and Sonatel. Cable project was designed to implement Cross the Gambia running from Katong to Salati. In 2009, this capacity of the cable is a 72-pair capacity shared equally between the parties. The objective of this project is to ensure the national international telecommunication traffic for both Gamtel and Sonatel. On the part of Gamtel, the link is being used to carry national telecommunication traffic from Banjul across the river through the north bank of the river to Fatoto, down through the south bank of the river. Through the same infrastructure, Gamtel is able to lease resources to pass telecommunication traffic through the Sonatel to the outside wall when the ACE cable is not available due to fault. This particular international traffic, since it is not terminating in Senegal, instead terminating through Sonatel, lease resource at the international transit point, is paid by Gamtel. Like otherwise, on the other part, Sonatel also use this cable infrastructure to carry its national traffic across the northern Senegal to southern Senegal through its sheer capacity on the cable. The cable is divided into 2 segments, where each party is responsible for their maintenance in a particular segment within its territory. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, as Gamtel bears the cost with regards to when you are doing your answer, is the private sector also contributing part of the cost to the bill Gamtel is paying?
The sub-segment, which is Bara to Banjul, maintenance is by both institutions. Since this is a special segment, operation and maintenance of the segment are subtracted from the French company called Lucin, and any other cost related to the segment is a 50-50 split between Gamtel and Sonatel.
Honorable Minister, I don't know whether you get my question right.
Okay.
Gamtel is behind the cost in the Gambia, and when there is any problem, the private sector also benefits on this ACE cable. Are the private sector contributing towards the bill?
Sorry, when the ACE goes down,
the private sector use it. Are they contributing towards the bill that GAMTEL is paying?
They would contribute, yes, if the case ASK will go down. That is correct.
Honorable Minister,
Honorable member, that is it. Any other? That's your.
No, that's the only one. That's what remains. I only asked for one.
Honorable, you asked two.
No, I asked for one. I was trying to make it clear to him. He didn't answer
Nobody gave me the floor to second.
No, I only asked for one.
Honorable.
This is my second supplementary question.
Honorable member, that we are fine with you. Anybody who wants to ask a supplementary? Honorable member for Woolist.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the issue of 50-50 between GAMTEL and Sonatel. I'm just looking at the population, I'm just comparing the population. Is that a fair deal for the Gambia? Don't you think you need to renegotiate that one? Because a small country like the Gambia is paying 50 and Senegal too is paying 50 when the clientele are so different.
Noted.
Question number 102 of 2023. Honorable member for Jesua.
Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Information tell this August Assembly why GAMTEL is still not in control of the gateway?
Thank you very much. In 2009, the gateway was liberalized through the executive order whereby all operators were given the mandate to operate on their own independently international voice gateway. PURA was tasked with monitoring the gateway traffic in order to ensure that revenue assurance. In 2021, GAMTEL submitted a request to the executive to revisit the liberalization due to the fact that revenue assurance was not forthcoming and national security was at stake. A cabinet subcommittee was formed to look into the matter, and a decision was made to select a committee comprising the key stakeholders organizing, including MOBDI, MOFA, and PURA, GAMTEL board, and GAMCEL management to identify a potential partner for a PPP management. This partner will monitor and manage the international voice gateway. The management and monitoring will also include data, SMS, A2P, and P2P monetization. Thank you.
Honorable Minister,
I had worries. But I think it's one of the errors probably, because the question is, Honorable Minister for Information. When we are asking the answer, the question is the Honorable Minister for Communications and Digital Economy is the one answering questions. That was what I was worried with. What I believe maybe is that it's a typo that it should be, could the Honorable Minister for Communications and Digital Economy. Yes. Honorable, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, as you have rightly mentioned, there was a task force that was being set up. What was the outcome of the task force and what was their recommendation on the gateway?
Thank you very much. As we speak, a task force was formed. From this task force, a tender was awarded or identified to a possible company, and that was presented to my ministry, and we did our due diligence in terms of the technical specification. Right now, it is sitting at Justice for legal review, and once Justice gives us the go-ahead, it will come back to the subcommittee, and the subcommittee will decide on the final outcome for the award of the tender to start the process.
My last question, Honorable Minister. Are you aware that the country is losing a lot of money to the private sector? and the private sector did not even invest on this on the initial stage of the gateway.
We all know and we are fully aware that most or all GSM operators or telecoms are not reporting probably the correct revenue everybody is speaking about. But in order to do that, even if the tender was awarded today and given to the contractors, we cannot do anything without the laws being implemented. As we speak today, we have passed those laws and sent them to, or we have put those laws together and they are sitting at justice for legal. And once they are complete, we will take them to cabinet, and once cabinet passes them, then we can get into this monetization of revenue. You cannot tap into this GSM operators network or try to monitor the revenue from data and voice without having this regulation. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Ekansala.
Thank you very much, Minister. As you alluded, the liberalization process of Gateway is in the process. Finally, it's at the justice to see what will be the outcome. What are other measures that will be put in place to see the telecom giant to be at this footing, as per the agreement of the justice is still in progress for Gateway's liberalization?
Sorry, I'm not clear with your question.
Yes, issues of processes and procedures are currently as evaluated at the justice to finalize the stages of the Gateway issue. As we all know that Gamtel is the main parent telecoms in the Gambia, just as example Sonatel of Senegal. What measures currently by your ministry put in place so far the Dining Institute of Gamtel in terms of revenue is in place? What do you advise, what do you put in place as at now to uplift the current status quo of Gamtel and Gamcel?
I have made this very clear since day one I came to office. Gamtel is here to stay. This is the reason why I stated with the Ministry of Finance, we collaborate together to make it very clear with World Bank that we are not going to liberalize Gamtel or sell it for that matter. Now, the mechanism we are putting in place is to make sure that Gamtel get revived and given the opportunity and put the laws and policy in place that would help Gamtel to be like it was in the mid-80s. So the last but not the least, when this contract that justice is reviewing is awarded, let's say, is finalized and the company that possible company that's identified is given the contract, Gamtel would be doing the monitoring and managing of this revenue assurance as it stands. So hopefully that would increase the revenue of the telecom, and there are other digitalization that we are working on in terms of helping Gamtel to revive its revenue. There are other areas we are focusing on to help the company. Thank you.
Honorable Member for 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏𝒆𝒍.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor, and thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, this gateway collection was done by Gamtel in those days. You reverted to private ownership, right? I think that was the case. I asked you a question. This was the collection of gateway was done by Gamtel. Why do you guys revert it to private collection? That's my question.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. That was done prior to me coming to office. I have no idea what happened and how it happened and why it happened. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Upper Salu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Minister. With the liberalization of the gateway, it seems now the risk associated with SIM boxing, like those black boxes, it seems now the risk is shared among all the parties. Has that generated or has that resulted in the generation of more revenue for the government in terms of now government being able to monitor what is being terminated from each of those institutions?
Okay, let me make some distinguish here. When it comes to the liberalization and termination, as we speak, All the GSM operators are still doing their own termination from their own network. So what we are working with GAMTEL to do is to monitor what we call international traffic, SMS, WhatsApp, mobile money, all these local contents we call it. These are the things we are focusing on. These are the things right now, if you send an SMS message from your phone to a friend in the US or in Senegal, the government have no idea, cannot track that revenue. So what we are saying, we want to know if it's $500 a month or is it $10,000 a month. Then we will decide if we are going to tax this or not. The government is not saying we are going to tax everything that is going to be generated from this mobile money or what we call IoT, Internet of Things. What we are saying, we want to know how much revenue are you collecting. Then the government would decide at that time. So this is what's happening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister for Communications and Digital Economy, for ably answering questions posed by honorable members. We thank you very much. Honorable members, I'm informed by the Office of the Clerk that the last agenda item, which is the Ministry for Gender, Children and Social Welfare, is not in town. And to that end, we have come to the end of today's business. Let me thank all of you for the sacrifice you've made to stay this long during the month of Ramadan without meals, just to finish today's business. So to all of you, I thank you. And what I observed is most people stayed to finish. Most people stayed to finish. There were those notorious ones who will definitely go. So once again, I want to thank the clerk, the table office, and staff, and thank everybody. Who is speaking?
Honorable Speaker, point of order.
Oh, my mic is on. Honorable Speaker, I'm just drawing your attention to your statement. Notorious. We are all honorable men and women.
With all due respect, we are all honorable men. But that you have to behave honorably. If you don't behave honorably, why calling you honorable men? What I'm saying is, I know of people, and you honorable member for Serekunda West, know of people who are always away. And they are notorious of doing it. They do it continuously. What is bad about that? You rest your case. Thank you. So, honorable members, honestly, on a more serious note, I am myself very much impressed. Looking around, it's just like the beginning. And this is Ramadan, and the time is going to 6:43. Almost 30 minutes to cut fast. When most of us are not mobile. Some of us live far, but yet stayed to finish the order of business today. I thank you. Let me now put the question. Be resolved that this August Assembly do stand adjourned until Thursday, 23rd March 2023. Be resolved that this August Assembly do stand adjourned until Thursday, 30th March 2023. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. The House now stands adjourned until Thursday, 30th March 2023 at 10 a.m.
Thank you very much, those who are following us since at the morning. We are thanking everyone. Just follow Kamaraba official. It's me, Adam Asane, who is reporting here. Thank you all. Happy Ramadan to all of us. Thank you. Bye.